Well, good evening, everybody, wherever you're joining us tonight on the Glamorgan Cricket YouTube channel. Can I give you a very warm welcome to Savannah Gardens in Cardiff for tonight's Vitality Blast T20 match between Glamorgan, the home side, and Somerset, one of the leading counties. They're leading the way in this competition so far, and they're top of the South Group. And joining me, the perfect person to discuss a Glamorgan against Somerset game, it's Matt Maynard, popular hero figure here at Glamorgan, as a player, of course, and also as a coach. But also, Matt, you spent some time at Somerset, so I guess you have an affinity and a love for both counties in some ways.
Love for this country, of Glamorgan, all through the playing years and years I've coached here. It's just been a fantastic experience, brilliant family. I like Somerset a lot, but I love Glammy. Good.
Well, loyalty's sorted out. That's good. And an exciting and intriguing match tonight. Glamorgan seem to be a resurgent side, young players in that. They're currently in the quarter-final places, fourth in the South Group at the moment, but Somerset, 6 wins out of 7. They look like the form team. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, look, it's halfway through the competition, so this is the 8th match tonight of the 14. So still a long way to go. Glamorgan will be very pleased, I think, especially with the makeup of the side with those young players that they've got in. Smale up top with Skipper Carlton, and then young Ben Kellaway at 3, and Asa Tribe down there at 6. And I think those 3 lads have done really well with the bat, and then Ned Leonard also has contributed with the ball, who's another young player. So it's brave selection by Richard Dawson and Kieran Carlton to go that way and leave out potentially more experienced players in Sam Northeast and Billy Root. But it seems to be paying dividends at the moment. I can't remember the last time halfway through the competition that Glamorgan have been in the top 4. So, and that's testimony, I think, to the way they've gone about it with Richard Dawson and his coaching staff. I think a fantastic appointment, Ash, if I may say, by Mark Wallace, to get Richard Dawson here. I know it's an interim this year, but hopefully they can extend that. He is one of the best coaches in the country, and to have his assistant from his Gloucester days, Ian Harvey, who I've worked with, who did a lot of work for the Tom Maynard Trust and the academy, and we had that in Spain. He's a fantastic coach, so really, really good, and compliments obviously David Harrison, who knows all the lads very well. So I think it's as good a coaching setup as I've had since Duncan Fletcher and John Derrick back in the day.
Well, that's high praise, and yeah, potentially exciting time. So the news here tonight is that Somerset have won the toss, and they have chosen to have a bowl. So understandable decision?
Probably unsure. I mean, they did the same last year. And we all know what happened last year in this game with Kieran Carlson, an unbelievable century. Asa Tribe got runs in that fixture too last year. And it was a comprehensive victory for Glamorgan. The one thing that Glamorgan will want to try and address tonight is so far in the competition, they won the first game, lost the second, won the third, lost the fourth, won the fifth, lost the sixth, won the seventh. So they'll want to try and put that right ahead of a bit of a break now, two championship games after tonight's game, so I'm sure the lads will give it everything to try and get the result that they want tonight, but if they get a good batting performance and hopefully give the bowlers something to defend.
Yep, so Glamorgan batting first now. Let's have a quick look, if we can, at the team, and then we can take you through the batting order. So as we mentioned, it'll be sort of Kieran Carlson, the skipper of the T20 side, who'll be opening with Will Smale. And then you've mentioned some of the young players. So Ben Kellaway, they're batting him at 3 in the T20 side, Glamorgan are. And Asa Tribe, another young player, sort of come through the student scene, cricket scene, and now making his way into the first-class cricket. So what do you think of that batting lineup?
Yeah, and then you've got the experience and the firepower of Ingram and Cook there in the middle. So I really like the way he's set that out. Douthwaite, as we've seen this year so many times, he's contributed some really valuable lower order runs at a really good strike rate. The game against Essex, I think he got 40 off about 16 or some 17 balls. So really, really impressive he's been so far this year. The likes of Imad Wazeen, I think, the Swansea-born.
It's a nice story, isn't it?
I think it's absolutely brilliant. Looked at him many, many years ago. Yeah. When I was first coming back as coach. I think he's a terrific player for this format.
So if you haven't been following, so Imad Wasim, Pakistan internationals, played more than 100, I think, one-day internationals, hasn't he, for Pakistan. 37 years old now, but born in Swansea, so it's kind of like a homecoming here for him.
Yeah, it's brilliant, you know, and as I say, you know, many years ago, before he played that many international matches, he was one to try and really drag back, you know, to get him playing full time as a pro, and because he wouldn't have to qualify if he hadn't played those internationals. You see, he could have just played as a local because he was born in Swansea. So he's going to be a key factor. If we get enough runs on the board tonight, he'll be a key factor, bowling at least one over, I would suggest, in the power play, and then obviously Mason Crane as well. He's had a good competition so far.
Yeah.
But I like the balance of Glamorgan side, 3 spinners and 3 seamers.
Yeah. You
look at the Somerset side, they've got 1 spinner in Lewis Goldsworthy, and 6 seamers. Riley Meredith is obviously signed for Welsh Fire as well this year. Matt Henry, who had been at Welsh Fire, Josh Davey, Ben Green, Lewis Gregory, and Tom Abel can bowl him as well. So that's a very, you know, it's really based on that seam attack. So let's hope it's a nice flat deck and it doesn't seam around.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here they are. Here are the Somerset team making their way out, leading the South group at the moment with 6 wins from 7. So they really are the form team. They were in action last night, beat Hampshire after an incredible game against Kent, I think, on the weekend. It was a high-scoring game that was, sort of an incredible match. So caught that on the TV. So, yeah, I wonder how mindful they'll be. A lot of these players would have played in that game here last year, and where Glamorgan just kind of broke every record going, didn't they? It was the last match of the Blast last season. Scored, was it 243? Something huge, which was their record score, and Kieran Carlson got the highest ever score for a Glamorgan player in a T20, and then Marnus Labuschagne got 5 for 13 bowling as well in his last game before heading off. So that was a special day that a lot of fans will remember. But I guess the slight difference is here that you know, Glamorgan is still in the competition here. That match was sort of like a little finale when they had nothing to lose, whereas actually there's still a lot to play for Glamorgan now, isn't there?
Huge amount to play for this year, you know. But they're far better off in this position now than they were. As I say, this is the last match before another two championship matches before they then travel down to Somerset for the 9th match of the campaign. Yeah. So back to back, if you like, against Somerset, but it'd be nice to try and get the victory tonight, obviously.
So there's Kieran Carlson and Will Smale on their way out to the middle now, the 2 openers. Kieran Carlson is the leading run scorer for Glamorgan in the competition this season. And Will Smale has also had a real impact as well. Sort of top score of 65 so far in the competition. But Carlson, he's got 192 runs, including a 93, averaging 27 in this competition. And his game, I guess, is just to attack early on. I guess he's such a busy cricketer, isn't he? He runs very hard. So if the boundaries are not there, he'll be trying to turn 1s into 2s.
Yeah, but it's about boundaries in the first 6. You know, this set here, and they are. And Kieran's got such an unusual game. He can hit the ball, 360. And sometimes he throws that front leg wide and just let the back go. And, as you said, this isn't really about averages in this competition. It's about that strike rate. If you can maintain a strike rate, and we've seen the game evolve so quickly, those strike rates now, the norms are like 180s. Which is phenomenal, really, scoring 180 runs for every 100 balls you face. So let's see what Kieran can give us tonight.
So it's Matt Henry, the Kiwi, to start us off from the River Taff end. Bit of a false start. Don't think Kieran Carlson was quite ready. He's a great bowler.
Superb bowler, swings the new white ball as well. That's the danger. It's not going to be straight up and down. He'll get a bit of shape on this, I would have thought.
And that's why they've got to slip in. And a lovely start. Straight away, bit of room outside off stump, and well, that settles the nerves.
That's a lovely start, isn't it? Wasn't a bad ball, was it? He just leant on it, just kind of halfway between front foot and back foot, and just nice little punch. Boom. Great timing. So, a boundary from the first ball, nice start. Beautiful evening here in Cardiff as well. As you can see, it's been really hot all day. It was sort of in the 30s, I think it's been in Cardiff here today. Oh. And that one
A little bit of movement and past the outside edge. Yeah, glorious day here. So the pitch should be dry. And a decent crowd just rolling in here on Friday night here in Cardiff. Hoping for the sort of feast of cricket that they had last year. Similar shot, and I think that's going to be 4 more.
It's a great way to get the crowd going, isn't it? Two boundaries off the first 3 balls you face, and with one in between being an absolute jaffa.
Yeah, good contest, good battle straight away. It's Carlson who's just on top at the moment. Well, very much on top. 2 lovely boundaries to get the scoreboard ticking. And again, boundary miss, boundary miss. Maybe that's going to be the pattern.
I'd settle for that, wouldn't you? 12 off the first. Boundary miss, boundary miss.
It'll be fine, as long as he misses them. That's the main thing. Can only be a bit of a whisker away. Got Lewis Gregory in at first slip. Hoping that Carson will get a tickle on one. So just the 2 men out in the power play, which is the first 6 overs in this format, and as teams often do, players square the wicket on either side of the 2 men out. One on the cover point boundary, one on the deep square leg boundary. Quite big boundaries here tonight. The ropes brought it in a little bit from the fence. Still take a good hit to clear it. And that's the end of the first over. So 8 runs from it, 2 lovely boundaries from the skipper. And a decent start.
Yeah, just a little bit of movement there, wasn't there, with a new ball. But Kieran capitalised really well on the 2 loose deliveries at Matt Henry bowled.
So his partner Will Smale, one of the younger players in this side, sort of making his way, and well, he's really shown that he's got all the shots in some of the previous matches. Some clean hitting, can be destructive when he gets going. And so it's Josh Davey from the Cathedral Road end.
That is a gorgeous stroke. That is top of the stumps, top of middle and leg, and he's just worked that past mid-wicket, and it's flown off his bat.
To keep that down and not to flick it in the air, that's skillful, and the timing was just perfect, wasn't it?
Great start.
He had to hit that well just to make sure that the sweeper couldn't get round there, but he had no chance. So well hit. Well, what a lovely start for both batters. Same again.
Virtual repeat. Absolute virtual repeat.
Bit too straight from Davey.
It's one of those in there. You don't want to give too much width early doors, so you want to try and keep it on the stumps. I think what has done Josh Davey there is just his length's a bit too full. Had that been 2 yards closer to himself or further away from the batsman, I think it would have been fine, but it was just over pitching. Gone to a 5-4 leg side field now with that offside sweeper at on gully line.
Innovation, and another boundary. 3 and 3. Well, that's kind of your dream. That's your dream start, isn't it?
The game's moved on, hasn't it? You know, like back in the day, you get 8 off 2 balls. You're thinking, "Oh, I'll just knock it for a single." No, I'll just flick you over short, fine leg and walk across my stumps. Brilliant, great innovation.
Wow, fabulous confidence to do that. Well, this is turning into a fabulous over already. How can Davey respond? Oh, almost got that through. Nice bit of work. In the end from Tom Kohler-Cadmore. Shy at the stumps as well. Managed to hit, but they were safely home. Yeah, a bit more like it the line that time.
Well, I'd actually suggest, Ash, that he was probably very surprised it was that wide.
Yeah.
And it almost took him by surprise, you know, because without a 5-4, he's gone more to a 5-4 offside field to Carlson now, so be interesting.
Cuts. Will this be cut off by the man in the deep? It's a good piece of work down there. It's just going to be 2. It's Will Smead down there, saving a boundary from the flashing blade of Kieran Carlson. He loves it there, doesn't he? That's one of his favourite areas.
Yeah. It's got great hands. Really commits. That's the key, isn't it? Really committing to that shot.
And they scurry through for a single. 16 off that over. Over from Davey. Some beautiful shots from Will Smale, and Glamorgan ticking along very nicely. 24 without loss after 2.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with that. Very happy with that start. And the beauty with the ball going to the boundary so many times, it's just going to take a little bit of lacquer off. So the chances of it now swinging in this second over of Matt Henry's is obviously a lot less.
So the harder you hit it, the less it swings. Is that kind of how it works?
Get the sheen off, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, to break that kind of sheen that's on a brand new ball, you know. And of course, the white ball doesn't shine up like the red one.
Well, nice start. Somerset will want to get into this Glamorgan batting order. 3 wickets would be amazing in the power play if they can. That's what teams look for. But it's not going to happen just yet. That is big. It's gone all the way. And the assault continues from Kieran Carlson.
Effortless. Effortless from Carlson. He's obviously been on the weight.
He's had some spinach for tea or something. That is...
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, just timed it, really didn't.
Yeah.
Just timed it so well. Yeah, well, we've seen some lovely shots already, and we're only just at the start of the 3rd over. Long may this continue. Decided to abort.
Yeah, I think he lost his footing.
I was rather unfairly booed by the crowd as well. It is a Friday night.
It is a Friday night. And it's been very warm today.
Yeah, it has. It has. Yeah. There'll be some tired and emotional people, I'm sure, at the end of this evening. But let's hope we have a great game. And again, looking to run that ball through kind of the 3rd man area, or just behind square on the offside. As he often does when he misses, seems to fall forward into kind of like a tripod position, leaning on his bat, doesn't he, Kieran?
Yeah.
It's got characteristic expression when he misses.
I don't like... I'm not as fond of that shot, because it's not a real commit. Steve James used to play it brilliantly. He used to get right in line with it and just drop it off a straight bat.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels
Kieran almost flicks at
different.
It, you know?
It's a little wristy flick at the last minute.
Yeah.
Steve would almost play a forward defensive, wouldn't he? And then just kind of angle his bat and just run off.
And just, I
mean, it's a great shot if you can play that, isn't it? Just
very
to get off strike and off a good ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just play it nice and late, I guess, for those, isn't it? That's one of the keys to it. So, a couple of welcome dot balls for Matt Henry. Keen just to not let this run rate go at this rate for the whole innings. Pulls.
Get down.
In the air. And gone.
He's absolutely nailed that pull shot, but unfortunately it was straight to the fielder, and the fielder's line, who made a good catch coming forward, probably 5 yards off the boundary, but he hit that very cleanly.
Well, it's been fun while he was here. Kieran Carlson departs for 16. Caught down a deep square leg off the bowling of Matt Henry. I'll have a look at it again. He really did middle this. Yeah, good catch in the end, on his knees. Sliding in. Oh, and looks like he almost maybe spilt it. I think caught it in the crook of his elbow. But the important thing is he clung on. Oh yeah, that has nearly come out. Wow, saved by the elbow. So, first blood to Somerset. And that brings Ben Kellaway, I guess the rising star with bat and ball of this Glamorgan T20 side. Supremely talented player. People talk about him as one of the best players of spin at the club. Of course, he bowls right and left-handed, so fantastic fielder as well. So high hopes here at Glamorgan for this young man. Yeah, big breakthrough season for him in all forms of cricket. Got almost a double hundred in the championship as well, didn't he? And
he's a wonderful player, a very mature lad as well. You know, for his age, still studying at university, and he's missed 1 or 2 games, hasn't he, for exams this year? But obviously they're all finished now, and great to see him playing and making such an impact.
And again, just that little bit of shape from Matt Henry, dangerous. So, a wicket and a 6 from that over, and 4 dot balls. 30 for 1. So Glamorgan going nicely, but they won't want to lose too many more wickets in this power play. That does feel the key, doesn't it, Matt? Teams often say if you're a bowling side, if you get 3 in the power play, you think you've done all right.
You're very happy if you get 3. I think that the thing about it, though, you can't think about it. You can't let that worry you as a batting unit. You can't think, oh, what if? You just got to think as clearly as you can, your game plan, watch the ball. Is it in my area? Yes, it is. Totally commit to it and try and hit a boundary. And you've got to keep it as simple as that. You can't overthink on what if.
So, change of bowler. Riley Meredith from the Cathedral Road end. Callow defending again.
Got a lot of wickets this year, Riley. I think he's got 16 in 7 matches. He's been there, obviously, leading wicket taker for Somerset. But I would suggest with those kind of figures, he'd be up there in the league as well.
So 4 men saving 1 on the offside. Oh, and bit of bounce that time from Meredith. Went over the top of Will Smell's bat.
Yeah, good carry there. Keeper's not that far off the 30-metre circle.
No.
Tom Banton, unless he's just walked back and I've missed something. But he's got a bit of pace, Riley Meredith.
So for the keeper to be spanning that for, what would he be on the speed gun?
You would have thought round about... Let's see where he finishes, where Bantam finishes.
Taking a couple of steps forward. But nice looking shot. It's only going to be 1 though.
Probably an effort ball would be mid-80s.
Yeah.
That last one swung a little bit, didn't it? So yeah. I would suggest that maybe 82, something like that.
Yeah.
She walks in a fair way, the keeper here, Banton.
Yeah. If he just goes back, and that's how that's maybe how he does it. Is sort of takes a few steps forward. I think he's settled now. But I wonder if he takes a few more steps. You can just watch it, see it on the top of your screen there. Will he take a few more? Yeah, he does take a few more.
That's not a dissimilar to line to what Josh Davey was bowling right at the top of the stumps, but his length's just back this way a couple of yards, and it's very difficult to score off. Very difficult to score off.
So just after the flurry of boundaries at the start, just getting a bit of control back in the last over or so. A Somerset. Will Smell 14 from 7 after that amazing start that he had. And he's gone now, 2. Caught at point. And a double breakthrough for Somerset. Glamorgan are 2 down, 31 for 2. And this is a good comeback from Somerset. Good catch as well, sharp catch.
Yeah, Ben Kellaway just giving himself a little bit of room. Hit it fairly cleanly, similar to Carlton, but unfortunately just too close to the fielder.
Yeah, well, that's a shame we don't get to see more of his talent, but it brings Colin Ingram out to the middle. One of Glamorgan's all-time great batters, incredible talent, veteran player. But yeah, every time we talk about him up here in the commentary box, everyone says, yeah, he's right up there on the list of players who played for Glamorgan.
Yeah, you know, his white ball batting has just been phenomenal around the world, not just at Glamorgan, but around the world. And then I went kind of had a little bit of a lull in the white ball, but then his red ball, he decided to start playing red ball again, and was phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. So could do with him getting a partnership here with Will Smale. It'd be great to see Colin in full flow if he does get going tonight.
And he's off the mark with a boundary. Oh, that was a nice shot. Didn't try and give it too much, just placed it and timed it.
It looks a good wicket, this.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of shots out there that you think, you know, not really a bad ball. That's just, what, on fourth stump? Top of the stumps, and he's just... I think Glamorgan will be hoping to get a 180 plus today. 180 to 200, that kind of score I think they'll need tonight.
It's a very strong Somerset batting lineup. So, lovely start for Colin Ingram. And so at the end of the fourth over, 35 for 2. So Glamorgan now just want to get a partnership. Try and calm things down a bit after those. You don't want there to be a flurry of wickets and have to keep sort of rebuilding every over or so. So Matt Henry to continue for his third over on the trot. One for 14 so far. And I'm sure they sense if they could just get another one in the next couple of overs, that they'll be in the box seat in this game.
100%. I think that's why they stayed with Henry to bowl a third in the power play. And I'd be surprised if the Meredith didn't bowl another on us as well, so they can try and get one, maybe two more wickets in the power play and really be in the ascendancy.
So fine leg and third man, both going to be up in the ring. And all the other players saving one, except for those two fielders out square of the wicket on either side. Bit of a lead.
I don't know about you, Ashley, but it looks as if they've got, Somerset have actually got 13 players out there, because the umpires are dressed in an identical kit to them. The lurid pink top, black bottoms.
Yeah. It is similar. It's maybe slightly more reddish, isn't it? But it's not far off. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, certainly, if any of them pick the ball up, we'll certainly let you know. Oh, what a delivery that is. And Matt Henry strikes, and all of a sudden, Somerset are getting a grip of this game early on.
Just started to bowl better length. Attacking the top of the stumps again there, but far better length. So they've had a couple of breakthroughs with those strong shots going to fielders. But that was a beauty of a delivery.
So Somerset have the 3 wickets, which people often talk about in the power play. If they could get another one, well, it would be very hard, you think, for Glamorgan to come back from that. So they do need a partnership. Let's have another look at this ball.
Oh, yeah. Just nip back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just looks as if he's going to shape away and just nip back on him.
So, Glamorgan's number 5 is already out there. As we watch that wicket again, beautiful piece of bowling from Matt Henry. His second wicket. Glamorgan now 37 for 3, and that brings Chris Cook, the wicketkeeper batsman, to the crease. Bats 5 in this team, and I suppose he's probably the one batter in the top 6 who hasn't really had a score in this competition yet, by his standards.
No, and of course, we all remember that match, Middlesex, last year with a 100 off, like, I know it was quickest in our history, wasn't it?
Oh, is that an edge?
Yeah.
I think it was, but it went straight along the floor. So Matt Henry causing some problems here.
He got the tails up now. He got the tails up.
Yeah, so there's a sense in which, what would your advice be to players? Just some sense of rebuilding, or have you just got to keep trying to commit?
You have to keep committing. Yeah, you have to keep committing. Yeah, you can't allow 2 overs
to go.
You know,
it's hard.
But it's been a cracking over that.
I mean, that must be an instinct, even, I guess, for some batsmen, just to think, oh, we've lost a few. Oh, let's just stop those wickets tumbling and hang around and let everyone calm down a bit.
Yeah.
I imagine that might be an instinct, but
the one good thing for Glamorgan at this stage is they're 2 senior players out there in the middle. They've been in these situations before. They know how to go about it. They'll know how to handle it. They'll have their game plans. But as we saw with Collins' first ball he faced, if the ball's there to put away, he'll put it away. And that's a mindset that you've got to have.
Well, is Meredith continuing, as you thought it would be, Matt? Really going for the jugular here now, I think, aren't they? They just want to capitalise on this situation.
Wickets. That's, as a bowling attack, that's what you want. The more wickets you get, it does stifle the run flow. I think Glamorgan were 30 after 2.1 overs.
Yeah,
and they're now.
That's right.
5.1
to 5. Yeah. Been a great fight back. Think about a single, but probably sensibly in the circumstances decide not to take an unnecessary risk.
Yeah, they're also one of the best fielding sides in the country. Somerset have been. Their fielding coach is a guy called Paul Tweddle, and very, very good, dynamic. Picked up a lot of stuff from baseball, so the positions that the guys get into. But they're a young side, agile side, so yeah, you don't want to be taking any risky singles at this stage.
No. Yeah, and all of a sudden, unlike in the first couple of overs, it's hard to get it through the field at the moment.
That's the game, and you hit the gaps when there's no wickets down. Lose a couple of wickets, start finding the fielders.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Momentum swings. Often that's such a thing in sport, and they're kind of almost, you can't really discern why they happen sometimes, but such a massive thing. It's like a feel about a match just changes. And at the moment, it's definitely, the momentum feels like it's very much swung Somerset's way, but it is early days. And these 2 experienced batters for Glamorgan, well, you'd think quite a lot rests on them. There's a bit of batting to come. But these 2, compared to those who follow, have seen it and done it.
Yeah, Ace has had a good year. He's due to come down next, and Dan Douthwaite, as I spoke earlier, has finished games really well, but this is a bit early for someone like Dan to be in. So ideally a partnership here between these 2 get Glamorgan in a decent position in round about 14th over, something like that, 13th over.
Goes full, and they scurry through for a single. So only 2 from the first 5 balls of this over. So it's been very tidy stuff, building the pressure. I suppose here, it's in the batsman's mind, do they take a risk or try and play a slightly unconventional, funky shot at this point? I mean, that's
not with one ball left of the power play.
No.
I wouldn't have thought so.
But that's the kind of the thing about going hard, isn't it? It's sort of like, I think it's that it feels like just to get through this ball, but I don't know the mindset of modern cricketers these days. But they survive. Only 2 runs from it, and a great over from Meredith. So at the end of the power play, Glamorgan are 39 for 3. So going 6.5, and compared to what it was early on, they've dragged that back a long way of Somerset, and it's the Wickets that have done it.
Well, 9 for 3 off 3.5 overs.
Yeah.
So just over 2 and over essentially, and 3 wickets. So that is, that's a big fight back there from Somerset.
So it's Lewis for Gregory, who the all-rounder, who's going to bowl next, replacing Matt Henry from the River Taffin. Henry 2 for 16 from his 3 overs. But now Gregory to Cook. As an appeal, I think that looked like it was going down the leg side from here. He implores a late change of mind from the umpire, but there's nothing doing. Oh, that's probably closer than it looked. He got so far across, wasn't
he did, yeah. But maybe just going over because it hit his thigh pad, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. Chris Cook, another player with fast hands. He's not a big man. He's quite, but when he commits to, again, very fast hands and gets through the shot, can hit the ball a long way.
Long way. Hits a golf ball miles as well.
Does he?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 300 yards.
He's got hold of that one. Has he? Straight to the man, 1 bounce. It's Will Smead down there. He's taken both the catches, I think, so far as well. He's really been in the game. 2 catches for him. 1 on the deep square leg boundary and 1 at point. The first one slightly fortuitous as it sort of got caught in the crook of his elbow, but he clung on to it. Ingram's just searching a little bit for his timing at the moment.
Looks as if it's just done a little bit for pace, that. Whether it was just he didn't quite get the length right on it, but apart from the first ball he faced, which he timed beautifully, he's struggled a bit since then.
So is Gregory quite slippery? I mean, is he quicker than he perhaps might look? I don't know. It's a nice shot, but I think it's only going to be 1. Lovely piece of fielding out there. I think is it Kola Cadmore out there, I think. Although we'll check on that.
I think that might be Tom Abel.
Tom Abel, yeah.
He mixes his pace up really well. So his effort ball will be early 80s.
Yeah.
But he does mix his pace up very well.
So lots of space for a 1 on the leg side, but it's boundaries. Oh, and that's a breakthrough. Another one's gone, and it's Ingram. Chopped it onto his stumps. Gregory celebrates. And Glamorgan suddenly, it feels like they're in trouble. Well, the early promise of this Glamorgan innings has faded very quickly. And Colin Ingram cuts a desolate figure as he walks slowly off towards the pavilion. Glamorgan now 4 down, 4 of their top batters back in the hutch after just 7 overs. And that means already Asa Tribe is coming out. Oh, he just tried to run that down to 3rd man, I think, didn't he? And
yeah, inside edge onto the pad, onto the stumps, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Bit unlucky.
Yeah.
But again, talking about playing strong shots and stuff like that, and those are just you've got to keep that, if you can, you've got to keep as positive as you can, that mindset, keep looking for those boundaries.
So that was the end of the over. 42 for 4 now, Glamorgan. The new batsman, Asa Tribe, he's going to have a chance to have a look from the non-strikers end for a while.
I think that 180 is looking a bit far away at the minute, actually.
Yeah, well, I think we'll work on a new number. So Cook just dealing in singles really at the moment.
It's quite good captaincy this, bringing Josh Davey back on, because he took a bit of stick in his first over. I think he went for 15 in his first over.
Yeah.
Obviously lost a couple of wickets, so try and get one of his overs out the way here now, Ash. You've almost got you've got a fresh batsman in Tribe, and obviously Cook's just knocking it around at the moment.
Yeah. So 2 men on the leg side boundary to try and cut off any boundaries that go that way. As a nice looking cover drive, but Kohler Cadmore's in there at short, catching cover really, cuts that one off. So backing up their bowlers in the field here as well. And a lot of work to do for Glamorgan to rebuild here. You'd think a couple of these batsmen are going to have to bat for a good, so you'd like them to bat for 10, 11, 12 overs. Yeah, and Davey just enjoying the pressure that the other bowlers have brought on. It just looks much easier for him now. He's been on the money. Just a single from the first 3 balls of this is second over. The Glamorgan crowd just trying to lift their side here a little bit. The chance of Glammy Glammy. It's a song you hear a lot here in these parts. Trying to lift their side. Under pressure now. Positive intent, and that's
Great
the one.
Shot.
All the way.
Yep.
Smashes into the advertising hoarding. And Asa Tribe is up and running.
Used his feet, lovely to come down there. Didn't let David just bowl to him. Used his feet, and a great shot back over the bowler's head.
Well, there's a bit of confidence. There's some positive intent.
Fearless. Absolutely fearless.
That's a very lovely strike, isn't it? So, how can Davey respond? Yeah, Asa Tribe from Jersey. Quite interesting career he's already had, even though he's a young man. He's played quite a lot of international cricket for Jersey. Got hundreds in international cricket.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Tier 4, Tier 5.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But obviously started very, very young in their international setup. I mean, it's a small setup, but still, I think they produce a few half-decent cricketers, don't they?
Mm. Yeah, they do.
Darren Thomas has been coaching down there, hasn't he? I think in Jersey.
They love it. Jersey and Guernsey, they're both big rivals, those two, obviously, but
and then
lovely part of the world to play cricket.
Again, in positive intent, coming down, trying to put the bowler off his stride, but this time could only sort of block it into the offside. But a welcome boundary for Glamorgan nonetheless. 49 for 4 now after 8 overs, and they hope that this rebuilding job will continue.
Yeah, they've got to play positive. They've got to keep looking for those boundaries and maximums. Greggy will just try and bowl at 2, maybe 3 overs in this spell. Keep his seamers rotating, maybe at the other end. Bet Ben Green an opportunity, or maybe even Lewis Goldsworthy.
So Gregory continue. 1 for 3. Got the important wicket of Ingram in his last over. And Chris Cook, it's been a steady start for him. Has not tried anything too extravagant so far, but that sort of feels that trying to find that balance between, I guess, commitment and managing the risk with his team already 4 wickets down. It's a tough balance to find. Had a go at that one.
I think the ball before, he's just like a bit angry that he didn't go hard enough. So the next ball, he's gone so hard at it. I'd just like him to use his feet, move around the crease, just try and put Gregory off that way. Maybe just step down. We've seen Tribe do it.
Oh, and he's gone. He's gone. He's caught behind. Oh, and he hadn't looked happy, Chris Cook. He looked like he was struggling for the form that he had certainly last season. And he's gone for just 4 now. Well, we were talking about how amazing were Glamorgan last season in this match. This is at the opposite end of the scale so far. It was a record breaker last year, and they're in danger of getting something which is going to be rather down the other end of the scale. 49 for 5, and we're only in the 9th over, and Somerset are dominating the first half of this Glamorgan innings.
Yeah, they have. After the first loss of Carlton, wasn't it, really? After Henry got him out, it's been a steady slide.
So Dan Douthwaite now comes out to the middle. You normally like to see him, but over 15, 16, 17, when he comes in and really tries to hit the ball out of the ground. That's his game, strong hitter. I wonder how he's going to have to just modify his natural game, or do you think he should?
He wouldn't have been in this position very often. I'm sure Richard Dawson would have given him a little bit of advice, you know. Give yourself a little bit of a chance, but at some stage, maybe at the 12th over, you've also got to look, because you still need a substantial score on the board. As I say, I still think this is a very good wicket.
So, I mean, it's a good wicket. How do you account for so many dismissals? Is it just good bowling? Or?
Well, the first 2 dismissals, Kieran nailed his, unfortunately, straight to the fielder, and then Ben nailed his just too close to the fielder, and he caught it. And then
it's going to be runs here. I think that's going to go all the way.
Yeah, that's a good shot by Dan.
Douthwaite off the mark with a tennis-style pull through mid-wicket.
Wouldn't it back? I think that was a good ball. And then obviously guys have just dragged on, played on, nicked. Yeah. You know, and because they've bowled a lot better in better areas, they've put a bit more pressure on Grammy. I don't think we have been as assertive as a batting group that we talked about, you know, with obviously Smale flicking that 3rd 4 off Davies' first over.
It's just going to be 1 off the outside edge this time. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, some of the dismissals look a little bit unlucky, like Colin Ingram sort of chopping it back onto his stumps, but I suppose it's like that adage in golf, isn't it? So the more I practice, the luckier I get. The more you put the ball in the right area as a bowler, the luckier you get as well. The more chance you've got of that little inside edge onto the stumps and so on.
Yeah, you know, they talk about in Test match cricket, you know, that your bowlers win your matches, batters set the game up. It's exactly the same in the short forms as well. If not even more important, if you don't bowl well, if you can't make the batters play more difficult shots or outside of their comfort zone shots, batters have to go to plan B or C, D, E, then you're winning as a bowling group. If a batter's just staying playing his plan A, then that's when you get those massive totals on the board.
Yeah.
And that's what Somerset, to be fair, have done very well.
So it's Matt Henry again. You feel like they are going for the jugular here now. It's Matt Henry, their Rolls-Royce bowler, who they brought back again. This will be his final over, and if they could just nick another 1 or 2 here, well, it's hard to see how Glamorgan are going to post anything like a competitive total against this batting lineup. But while a little bit of hope remains for Glamorgan, it probably does with these 2 batters there, because they could do a lot of damage if they can hang around for a while. So they're going to think about 2 here. Decide against it. Yeah. I think if they'd got run out going for a risky 2 at this stage of the match, I'm sure they'd do well to get past an angry crowd on the way back up to the pavilion. I think the Glamorgan team just willing the side now, these 2 to just hang around for a while.
Yeah, they're one partnership, isn't it? You know, we haven't really, apart from that first wicket partnership of 30, there's not been another partnership, and that's what Glamorgan desperately need now.
And they have had a couple of games. I think the game against Middlesex and Merchant Taylors, I think Glamorgan were 4 down for not very many, and then I think it was these 2 actually who then got a few and got Glamorgan up to over the winning line. So I guess they have done these 2 a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is probably the earliest Dan's been in, though. He's late, in a bit later that game, wasn't he?
So it's Dan Douthwaite on strike. Yeah, Henry right in the money. Just you do have the sense they're just maybe going to try and see him off. I don't know if that's right. It's hard to. I may be coming at it with a club cricketer's mindset here. Just want to get rid of him and hope for there's something a bit easier afterwards. But
yeah. Trouble is, you got Riley Meredith, you got Lewis Gregory, you got Ben Green, who's got a very good record in this format.
There's no respite. Oh, again, right on the money. Henry really just not giving him anything to swing at or to free his arms. And they'll know that Dan Douthwaite looking for any, I guess, bit of width or anything that he can just climb into, get those big arms free and smash it in the air into the crowd. That's what he likes to do, but and because this pressure now, just 2 singles from the over. 1 ball left of Henry's spell. And Douthwaite chooses to defend. Takes the conservative option and the sensible option, you would think. And that's the end of Matt Henry's spell. 2 for 18 from his 4 overs. Well, that's outstanding bowling, isn't it?
It is outstanding. If you consider that he went for 14 off his first 7 balls.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, to come back and bowl as he has done there, and he just hasn't missed, as you quite rightly said, Ash. He's just hit the spot, very straight, top of the bails, and made it very difficult for the Glamorgan lads.
Here's the stat: 17 dots from his 24 balls bowled. That's a ridiculously good ratio in T20 cricket, isn't it? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. As I say, what I think is looks a very good wicket.
So change of bowler. Ben Green. And the seamers just keep no sign of spin. As you said, a seam heavy attack that Somerset have got. Does feel quite unusual, doesn't it? It's in the trend to have a few more spinners in the sides these days. What are the
generally have
trends
2 and maybe a third. I mean, Glammy have got 3 proper, haven't they? 3 frontline spinners in their side, and they could then have, Kieran's bowled in the past, hasn't he? And his off spinners. Yeah. Obviously, Colin Ingram has bowled his leg spin. So potentially
last year 3 leg spinners bowling for Glamorgan. Crazy time.
Yeah. In fact, I think I did that game with you here.
Yeah. I mean, it's lovely to see. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah.
But Somerset seamers doing a fantastic job. They haven't needed to turn to anything else there. They're doing the job just fine. So just trying to rotate the strike, these two. Lots of singles on offer, but Somerset won't mind that. So
no, Somerset will be very happy with that. Just limit those boundaries now. That's all they'll be thinking.
So Glamorgan were 56 at the halfway stage. So do you want to give us a revised number then? So we're definitely downgrading from the 180 we were talking about after 2 or 3 overs. What do you think? 120, 130?
No.
Less or more?
No, you have to still get a 160, 170.
I love that mindset.
Yeah, you have to keep going. Yeah, you can't think about playing around. If these two get together, we know that they can both score very quickly. We know they can both end their innings with a strike rate of 180. Well, if Douthwaite gets 50, Tribe gets 70, then you're looking at that 160, 170 figure.
So you're saying this is no time for pragmatism.
Shot.
Nice shot. Oh, and gets it through. It's another boundary.
Again, using his feet, showing the nitty, coming down the wicket. Got to be brave. You have to be brave. There's no point in being struggling to 120 off maybe the 18th over before getting bowled out. You may as well, in my opinion, you may as well get bowled out for 95, but going for it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose.
Because that's the conundrum I've got in my head. Would it be really bad just to get bowled out for less than 100? Or
no, because you've got to try. You have to try and get a total that you think is winnable.
Yeah.
You know, or defendable, I should say.
Yeah.
And that to me is, you know, so 160 now is going at 11 and over.
Yeah.
That's not mental. That's not crazy these days.
No.
You know, you talked about your son's game the other day, the under 15. 14 was knocked off the last time.
Yeah.
These things can have, you know, you can have Douthwaite or Tribe could have 3 overs where they score 50.
Yeah.
You know, they're 17 and over, and you know, get 50 off the last 3. But they've got to. In the meantime, they've still got to be scoring quickly enough as well.
Yeah. It just feels like that's a sort of an approach, you know. It's a psychological approach, the mindset that just isn't natural in the circumstances, that you kind of got to override what your feelings are going to be telling you.
Shut.
Didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it looked like.
I thought he had the angle on it, and it was flying.
Well, Asa Tribe is certainly trying something. You can definitely say that about him. He has not been shy. He's trying to make something happen.
He is, and I think that's brilliant to see, especially, you know, coming in this position as a young man. He's still trying to play his own game and keep Glammy in the contest. I really like that.
Powerfully hit, but got a hand to it at point. I think it's only just going to be 1. So Dan Douthwaite will like the feel of ball on bat. Looks like a little bit wider there for him to throw his hands at, but couldn't get it past the fielder at point, who no doubt is got a stinging palm after that one. But these two, you'd think they're Glamorgan's best hope. Tribe now 15 from 12 on strike. Dan Douthwaite 8 from 10. Runs it down just for a single, rotating the strike.
If Tribe facing another 13 deliveries, it won't be just on 32.
No.
And the same with Douthwaite. If he's facing another 10 balls, he won't be on 16.
No.
You know, they'll pick it up and they'll go because they can strike the ball and get those boundaries, and later on 6s.
Nice looking shot again, well hit but well fielded too. And that was the baseball stance you were talking about there that he was straight up into, wasn't it? The Tom Carver Cadmore.
Yeah.
Very quick into the hands, up on his feet in a flash, wasn't it? All in one movement, really. So a little adjustment in the field. Lewis Gregory. These 3 men out in the deep on the leg side. Fine log is up though, so maybe the ramp shot is potentially on. That's full, straight into the hands. Sort of a hint of a crowd catch there.
That's very well stopped. I thought he hit that quite well. And
he did.
Gregory made it look very easy there, didn't he, to collect it?
It's one of those where you're walking back to your mark, try not to show it really hurt. He's probably got hands like an old bit of leather, I imagine, after playing cricket for as long as he has. They're going to hurry this one. Yep, comfortably home for a single, and they're going to come back for a second. That's a bit annoying.
Well done, Asa Tribe.
Yep, he was alert. Ran the first one quickly, I guess.
Ran the first one and then kept his eye on what was happening in the game.
So 70 for 5 now, Glamorgan. Signs of just a slow recovery here with these two. Bit of a partnership building, worth 21 at the moment.
This is a big over.
Yeah.
This is a big over in the mat. Glamorgan need a 15 to 20 over here.
And why now?
Really
why this over?
13
got to happen.
13 to go. It's got to go. Ben Green, I know he can bowl well in this format, but he can also go.
And that's a good start, I think. Has he got enough on it? No, hasn't timed it well enough, and it'll only be 1. Trying to target that short straight boundary there was Asa Tribe, but he didn't get hold of it. Didn't sound like it came off the middle.
You'll be able to see with Dan Douthwaite's footwork whether he's looking to hit 6s and 4s now.
So basically, that big left leg get cleared out of the way.
If he just takes that single step, long step back with his right foot, and then holds that position.
Yeah. Just the single again. So it really feels Somerset still have got good control. They'll be really happy. Runs have been, and boundaries have been few and far between for the last few overs. Comes down again, pulls it through mid-wicket. It's timed that really, really well. And is that the start of the fight back?
If they get 97, 98 off the last 7, that's only 14 and over.
Only 14. Oh, that was well hit again. Oh, that's a great piece of fielding. He's done really well. That Matt Henry.
Thought that whacked him in the head.
Oh, maybe it did. He is rubbing his head a little bit. Let's just see. He's thrown himself down. He seems okay. Normally, if there's any contact with the head, the physios come running on very quickly, don't they, these days? Let's have a look. Oh, I think he has. He's headed that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably hit him somewhere around the eye socket. Yeah. Oh, massive. Massive.
Fantastic hands. Fantastic hands. That was a proper old-fashioned come over to my side shot, wasn't it? Bottom hand in there. Go on, hoik it over. Cow corner. Love it.
That was massive. Well, Ace of Tribe races on to 29. Goes straight this time. Think it's only going to be one.
Tell you what, he could have had another boundary when it hit Matt Henry on the head. He's not too far off that one going for another boundary, and that would have been that 20 over.
Well, he's the man in form. He's on a bit of a hot streak.
Yeah.
And I think what's obvious is he doesn't lack confidence.
Bit of spin.
Okay, here we go. So Lewis Goldsworthy, the first introduction of spin in this match. So these two, partnership of 36 here, trying just to claw Glamorgan back into this game. 7 overs still to go. Ace of Tribe on strike now. He stepped away and gave him some room and fair play. Goldsworthy kind of followed him.
But what I like about Ace Tribe doing that, he's just set a tone to say, I'm not just going to let you bowl.
Yeah.
I'm coming after you here.
Yeah.
But by that body language, just giving himself a bit of room, and Lewis Goldsworthy followed him. But it's just that intent. That's what I love to see. That's really, really good.
Seems to be bowling so quite a tight leg stump line here. Inviting them to maybe try and hit against the spin into the air on the leg side.
Yeah, it's almost that pickup, Rassie van der Dussen kind of that kind of length he's bowling. Oh, well bowled, Fuller.
Looking for 2 here. I think he's hit it into this gap. Yeah, comes back for 2. Nice placement. If you can't get a boundary, I think 6 2s and over certainly gets you a long way as well, doesn't it? So. And there are definitely lots of wide open spaces with a good bit of placement. There are 2s around on the leg side. Wide outside the off stump, slapped. Oh, he's just kept that in. By a fingernail he's kept that in, Tom Kohler-Cadmore.
He'll get a bit of stick from the Welsh public there, I think. Oh no, fair play, they're clapping him.
Unusually polite. What's wrong with him down there?
Know. He did a very good job there, actually.
Oh, he did. Just did enough. Douthwaite, it's just going to be one. Get Asa Tribe back on strike. He's the one look most likely. He's 36 off 21 so far. Trying just a counter-attack here. Swings into the leg side. Thick inside edge, just a single. So 9 off the first over of spin. As Asa Tribe heads off towards square leg, you think for a little drink. Certainly must be warm out there. It was 32 degrees in my car when I was driving in at about 4 o'clock. I'm not sure whether that's necessarily a reliable thermometer, but it felt that warm, really warm. So I wonder what temperature it is out there. I guess it wouldn't surprise me if it was 25, 26.
Yeah, it'll still be very warm out there, but like any cricketer will tell you they much prefer playing in the heat than the April cold, chilly. Up in Derby with a bit of snow and ice on the covers in the mornings.
4 jumpers.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely evening. Lovely to see a good crowd in here tonight. A glass of something cold in their hands.
6,000 weren't they tonight, I think?
Yeah.
Massive over, this. I know I keep saying it, but...
I think they're probably all going to be quite massive, aren't they? So here we go. So it's Asa Tribe on 37 on strike. Good. Is it going to carry? I think it's just landed just in front of him.
That was a great pickup on the half volley, though, wasn't it?
It almost went in so cleanly, I thought he caught it. I think it's one of those where, as a fielder, you're thinking, do I dive for this, or is it going to smash me in the teeth?
Yeah.
It's kind of...
I think you made the right decision.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Just obviously picked up on the half volley. Yeah, good piece of fielding, though. Thinking about 2 again. I think they're going to come back. Tribe is quick. Oh, makes it easily.
Douthwaite just needs to commit now. Absolutely fully commit to looking for that boundary. He's a little bit hesitant at the moment. I get that feeling. Just needs to let it go.
I feel like we could break into song at this point. Let it go. With the Maynard light baritone.
Bass, I think.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're definitely not a light baritone. So, these two doing a decent job for their side. The overall run rate creeping towards 7s now. Oh! And Asa Tribe has tried to innovate, has tried to ramp it, and has missed a full straight one. Well, that is a shame. Asa Tribe goes 38 from 23 balls. And the counter-attack is over after a partnership of 49 between Asa Tribe and Dan Douthwaite. Somerset have managed to break those two up. And that feels like an important wicket. You said it was going to be a big over, this one.
Yeah, it's a huge wicket for Somerset. And, you know, the form man who played really well. It's a good bit of bowling by David, to be fair, but...
it was just too... I suppose that shot works on a length ball, doesn't it? And it was it Fuller? Is that why he's missed it?
Very full. Very full.
Yeah, he looks disappointed. So, Imad Wasim.
He can give it a smack. I think Glammy could do with 2 or 3 sixes from him.
Yeah. So what's his running like? 37-year-old. I think he's going to want to trade in boundaries a bit more than running the 2s.
Yeah, won't be many 3s run.
Yeah. So it's Davey. And that's a wide. I think that's the first one, isn't it?
I was going to say, I think that's the first extra of the bowled, yeah. No balls, first wide. Very disciplined.
Yeah. It all adds up, doesn't it? The no balls and wides. It's not just the extra run you add, but it's the extra ball and
the time, and then having that extra player out in the circle for the last over or two, depending on how slow you are. But I think the fact that they bowled so many dots, that helps obviously get back G-Mark quicker as a bowler.
Yeah, there have been a lot of interesting just looking at the dots. So, I mean, Lewis Gregory bowled 3 overs, 10 dots. He bowled 18 balls, 10 of them have been dots. Matt Henry, 17 dots from the 24 balls he bowled. I mean, that's really good, isn't it? And Meredith has bowled 16 balls, half of them have been dots. Oh, here we go. Well, maybe the wides are going to start. I'm not sure what's going on here.
That's the 100 up.
In the 15th over.
5 overs after this ball.
So, I mean, well, is it realistic now?
Oh, 180 is still on. If Douthwaite,
140, 150.
If Douthwaite goes, 180 is still on.
Big appeal. Well, he's looked quite calm. Imad has so far. There's been.
He's seen it all, hasn't he? That's why. He's seen it all.
Very gently, just kind of knocking the ball back down the pitch. Maybe, I don't know, maybe his job will be to get down Douthwaite on strike. We'll see. Let's see which way he decides to go. So we're 3/4 of the way through, 100 for 6. And, well...
Riley Meredith.
Chance still of posting a decent total. I mean, you'd have to say the odds feel against it. Matt Maynard is feeling supremely positive. He's sending as many positive vibes through the window here in the commentary box as he can. But you'd think it will be an incredible fight back if Glamorgan can get up to 150 plus, you'd think. I don't think he's got all of that. No. This is going to be out, and it is. And you think maybe that's the chance.
Well, yeah, but I think it was just, as I was saying earlier, he hadn't really committed to that. He was like, do I go now? Do I wait? I think losing the wicket was probably may have confused him again. I think every time I've seen him play well this year, he's just been real clear, and maybe the game's been mapped out, and he's just gone there and just got still and smacked it, you know? And just a bit hesitant there.
Yeah. Picked it up quite well, but it just didn't have that.
Chipped it, hasn't it?
Yeah. It didn't have that.
Like the, you know when Aisha put that one into the score by the scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know, he's totally committed to that, and that's just more of a little easy flick, you know.
Yeah. So much of this just seems to be about psychology, the way you're talking, doesn't it? I know, just massive, just almost overriding what the natural instinct is of sort of caution and fear and not wanting to get out, and that kind of fear of failure thing, and just trying to have a clear mind. Yeah. Such a big part of the game,
and down to every ball as well.
Yeah.
You know, and
so Tim van der Hoesten's the new batsman. Again, a decent bat, isn't he? Again, a strong man who can hit a ball. So can hit boundaries. Oof. Just Imad looking cool and relaxed. They thought they'd just test him just to make sure he had his bat back in. He did. Good piece of backing up.
Well, Meredith did well to skip over it as well.
Yeah.
Could have whacked him on the shin now.
Yes, at least 2 of his teammates in danger from that throw, but thankfully they all survived. 100 for 7, Glamorgan. Can they get up to a vaguely competitive total here? A welcome extra and another ball. So really only Asa Tribe and the Glamorgan card has got started. 38, high score apart from him. 16 from Carlson and Dan Douthwaite. And then just slim pickings for the rest. That's a nice place. You can't stick a fielder there. It's gone all the way. Well,
it's just hate to be a bowler, wouldn't you? He's just bowled good good hard length ball. Timmy van der Gooten, he's tried to swat him over mid-wicket, and it's gone right over the keeper's head, over the ropes for 6 runs, and now it's stuck behind the hover cover.
Well, there's 2 of them looking. Oh, he's
Well
he's
done,
found it.
ground
Well
staff.
done. Well done. Good work. There was a few players climbing in behind the hover cover last week when the ball got stuck in there, but they found it quickly. Yeah, that really did fly off the bat, didn't it? Straight over the keeper's head. But welcome for Glamorgan. Much needed boundary. So we are, you'd say, right into the tail of Glamorgan now. Probably the last of the genuine all-rounders has been and gone. Is that fair? Or am I doing a disservice to these 2? Certainly Somerset will feel like they're into the tail, won't they?
Yeah, but they can all bat these days, can't they? You know, Mason's he can hit a strong ball as well, you know, and that's the key. You know, they're not going to have, you know, fantastic averages by their end of career, but if they can get a decent strike rate, that's what's important in this format.
It's a nice looking shot, and it's gone all the way. Yeah, it's a hard life as a bowler. Davies just done his shift with the ball and then has to race around and try and stop that. Couldn't quite make it that time. Nice shot there.
Up and over.
Yep. There's lots of space down there if you can clear the man at backward point. So better over this one for Glamorgan. And at the end of it, hammers it off that. So it's been eventful. It's been a wide and no ball. It's testing my maths, that one, but
no ball, surely.
Was it?
There was wide, wasn't there?
A wide.
And then
A leg by. Sorry, it was a leg by. That's right. It was a
probably 12 off it.
Mix. Yeah. That sounds about 113 for 7 then. So 4 overs left. 24 balls to go.
Keep getting 12 off it. There's your 160. Job done. Ash. Job done.
It's job done in our heads.
It might be 20 runs too short though.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what they've got to go for.
So, Matt says 160. What are you thinking at home? I don't know, maybe I'm more pessimistic than you with my my non-pro cricketer's mindset. I think you've got to try, but they'll do well. What, 8, 10 and over would be really exceptional, wouldn't it? 8 and over. I mean, I know you'll be dissatisfied.
One boundary is 9 and over.
Yeah.
Because they're giving you singles now. They're sitting on the edge.
This is where do those boundaries come? I guess that's the question. Oh, and that has missed the stumps by a coat of varnish.
Tim just prefers it a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Get it a little bit short to free his arms. Don't like it kind of when you...
So he's got to clear 2 men on the leg side if he's going to get a boundary that side. And not offering him anything to latch onto is Gregory. Canny bowler's been so economical. Well, it's been a brilliant spell from him. Really has. He's taken 2 key wickets and has just been incredibly economical as well.
Yes.
That's a good shot. That sounded
Super
good off the
shot.
bat.
Straight down the ground.
Well, that's one of the areas where you can target here at Sapphire Gardens. It's a short boundary. If you can get it over the bowler's head or get it past him, it's not far to the boundary at either end. It's a good option. Hit that one well. Certainly feels like it's a much longer distance to hit square here for a boundary, and those are well patrolled as well by fielders on both sides. So this one's flicked through into mid-wicket. Well, there is a man. It's only going to be a single. So 120.
Which you were wanting to get in singles and twos earlier. No, if they can really get up to 120, you know.
I take your criticism. I take it on the chin.
It wasn't a criticism.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
It wasn't criticism. I just repeated what you said earlier.
I did. I said it. I said, well, I was sort of, when the wickets were tumbling, I don't know, it's just that sense of momentum swing, and I think the partnership in the middle, the Dalthwaite Tri partnership, I think, for me, brought a bit of fresh hope, and I think that, I think, has given Glamorgan a chance, hasn't it, of kind of getting up to, well, I suppose 150 still possible, 10 and over. They've got to have someone's got to have a good, there's got to be one over that goes for 15-20, hasn't there, do you think, to get 150 plus?
To get 160 or 165, yeah. Not to get 150, no.
Mathematically, I'm sure that's right, but come on, guys, they can do it. I want them to do it.
150 won't be enough.
No.
I think it's a belter of a deck.
Yeah.
I may have totally misread it.
And that one.
Slow ball bouncer.
Yeah. Meredith strikes with the first ball of his fourth over, and another Glamorgan wicket falls. It's Imad Wasim this time for 11 off 7.
If he gets a hat-trick here, you'll be spot on, mind, earlier, 120.
Well, yeah. Well, I think you're saying what they should be getting and aiming for. I think I'm a little bit more on what I think it's likely they'll get. Is that different? That's the difference.
Yeah, I'm looking what is the minimum they need.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it is going to be hard from here to get up there. I think that's certainly true. It's Ned Leonard now, who I haven't seen bat much. Fast bowler. But I haven't seen him bat, certainly not this season here at Safari Gardens. There's a bit to do. Goes for the Yorker straight away, Meredith, but just slightly over pitches it. Somerset want to go for the jugular here. They'd love to bowl Glamorgan out.
Yeah, they would. And that's what they've done, to be fair, all day, haven't they? They've hunted wickets, haven't they? You know, a little bit by that starvation route of just stopping Glamorgan scoring.
Yeah.
And build the pressure that way to get the wickets.
Yeah, been a lot of dot balls, and the pressure has built that way. I think this has gone up. It's along in the sun. And comfortably taken by Tom Kohler-Cadmore.
Another slow ball.
Van der Hoogten is the next one back to the pavilion. And this Glamorgan innings is faltering. Yeah, went for a big hit, just went straight up in the air, that one. Got lots of height, but that was all it really had going for it. So, I guess...
What are Meredith's figures?
Well,
has he got 3?
He's got 3, yeah. Again, it's been a fantastic all-round bowling performance. Just looking at the figures, he's, I think, 3 for 20. In fact, no, 4. He's got 4, sorry. 4 for 20. I was just looking at a screen that hadn't updated. Yeah, got 4 for 20. Wow. It's great bowling. Yeah, an outstanding seam attack. You can see why they're right at the top of the rankings in the South Division.
We haven't played the Aussie Quicks very well in this competition so far, have we? Wasn't it Andrew at Sussex got a 5-fer and a 6-fer against us in the 2 games? And then Riley's 4 and his 2 balls to get a 5-fer.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a terrific achievement if he can. It's been a great piece of bowling either way. 2 wickets in this over. And another dot ball. Again, I think it's just the number of dots, the pressure they've managed to build here.
Yeah, did it really well, didn't he? As soon as he got a sniff, So they got that first wicket, didn't they? They just kind of almost got together and said, well, settle down here, guys. Let's just... And they've just...
More than half of the balls that Riley Meredith has bowled have been dots.
Very impressive.
Which, when you think there are quite a lot of singles on offer, you know, the fields are back on one side, it's just really good bowling, isn't it? And that's the end of his spell. Well, so it's been an outstanding piece of bowling. 4 for 21 for Riley Meredith, including incredible 15 dot balls. And, well, it's been outstanding. And Glamorgan, well, they are just trying to scrape a half-decent total here, you'd think, with the power of the Somerset batting lineup. One would think it's not going to be enough, but you never know until both sides bat on it, I guess. Although you'd say the smart money is on Somerset. So it's Davey. 2 overs to go. Glamorgan will want to use up all 12 balls here. Is one of the goals.
Well, yes, they will want to use 12 balls, but there's no point in having 12 dots, is there?
No. 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 Oh, that must have just clipped him on the way through.
No, he's walked quite a way across there, hasn't he? I think now that he's... Paul Baldwin, I think the umpire there, isn't he? He's been around a little while.
Yeah.
Obviously saw that he kind of gone across and...
So, come on this last pair. Let's give this crowd something to cheer about, to get excited about. A little flourish would be nice.
That word hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them hope.
Yeah, I think any pre-match optimism is certainly less bright than it was. This has definitely been Somerset dominant from all apart the first 2 or 3 overs. Glamorgan got off to a lovely start. There's an edge. I don't think it's going to go. Somerset have got that covered as well. With Lewis Goldsworthy down there doing the fielding. So just only a single from this over so far. Yeah, my 120 prediction not looking that bad, Matt.
All right.
But we were talking about different things. You were talking about what they should be going for.
I would say I think what I believe was the minimum that they needed.
Yeah. I think, and that's.
I hope I'm dreadfully wrong, if I'm honest, Ash.
Well, stranger things have happened, but that's a nice placement. Hasn't got the power to go all the way, but it'll be 2 for Ned Leonard. 125 for 9. With 1 ball to go in the 19th. So I'd say they'd be very, very happy if they could get anywhere near 140 here, wouldn't they, at the moment?
Oh, yeah.
They're not looking likely.
Yeah. No, just snap your hand off for that.
It's good bowling, isn't it? It's not really giving them anything to
get under.
To hit. Yeah. So a good over from Davey as well. 1 for 32. His figures, which would be well, it's a good piece of bowling, but it's sort of compared to the others. You know,
very expensive.
It's been outstanding as a group. It's been outstanding.
Ben Green, he's gone for 12 so far today.
Yeah.
Toes 24.
Yeah.
Get 12 off that. There you go. You 140.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Mathematically, that is exactly right. Let's see. Can they take a few off Ben Green? Just to give a little bit of hope. That psychological 7 and over.
That's 2. That's well played.
Very well run. Ran the first one very, very fast. There did Mason Crane to get back safely. Well, 6-2s would do it.
Yep. course, these Ned Lennon would have faced Ben Green quite a bit back in his Somerset days.
That's right. Just sneaked it inside the line there. I think a hopeful look from the batsman to the umpire. That was about as perfect as you can be, I think, with one of those wide Yorkers.
Yeah, it's one of those in hindsight as about you think, oh, should have just had a go, because if it got a nick on it, that's going for 4.
Yeah, yeah. The third man is up. They've got everyone's up on the offside in the circle. Good bouncer as well. Variation wide Yorker, bouncer at the head. Mixing it up, but very hard for tail enders to do much with this. Yeah, followed him with a bouncer. It's a good ball. So 128 for 9, 3 balls left. Will Ned Leonard chance his arm here? 3 balls left. You think he's got to? Another very nicely bowled, right on the blue line there.
Yeah. Executed that very well, Ben Green has, this over.
Yeah. I think it's like a top order batsman might have flash his blade at that one and get it through, but I think they feel pretty confident that that's a good area to bowl to this last pair. Not quite as wide, and get some bat on it. It's just going to be a single.
Right, going to give you a stat now, Ash.
Go on then.
If this last ball is a dot, that is exactly 10 overs of dots in the innings.
Wow. I wonder why you were scribbling on a piece of paper there. See steam coming out your ears.
Yeah.
It was because you were doing some sums.
Stato. Just call me Stato.
Wow, has that ever happened? I'd be interested to know. I mean, I bet that hasn't happened much in the blast. Wow. Half of the innings dot balls, if this is a dot, is that right? Which is a single. Oh, that's a shame from a statistical point of view, but good news.
Well, he could have run him out. He missed the stumps, didn't he?
So the Glamorgan innings ends on 130 for 9. And, well, it's been Somerset's half, you'd have to say. They've been brilliant after Glamorgan got off to a bit of a flyer.
Yeah, went one up, didn't they?
Yeah.
1 up in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then 5-1 down at half time.
Yeah. They have just taken wickets consistently. The only glimmer of hope really was a partnership of 49 in the middle there between Dan Douthwaite and Asa Tribe. But apart from that, Matt, it was slim pickings really from a Glamorgan perspective.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with that display. Full credit Somerset though. I thought, the way they turned the screw, they kind of looked for that first wicket, got it with a bouncer, and Carlton smashed it. Well, good catch from Smeeds. Got a little bit lucky in his shoulder, but then they just hit the spot, and we then tried to do something as a batting team. Callaway just gave himself a bit of room, and he just found the fielder. Good ball then to get rid of. It was good ball to get rid of Smale from Matt Henry, and obviously then Ingram and Cook never really got in, never got settled. Tribe and Douthwaite gave us some hope, but with the fall of those 2 wickets, it was always going to be a struggle to get enough runs, I think, to win this match. But look, I love being proved wrong. Yeah, well, cricket can be a funny game sometimes, but you'd think that 131 to win should be well within the range of what this sort of strong Somerset batting liner should be able to get. Yeah, so 130 for 9 Glamorgan's innings. We are going to have a quick break once we've just shown you the bowling figures, and we've got to talk about these bowlers. I mean, 4 for 21, Meredith, 2 for 18, Matt Henry, brilliant, bowled most of his overs at the top, really kind of went for the juggler, didn't he, to put the pressure on that Glamorgan batting lineup. Fantastic from Lewis Gregory as well, 2 for 19, and it was the number of dots that this graphic doesn't show you, but you calculated that almost half of one ball shy of half.
So 59 balls in the innings with dots.
9.5 overs.
Which is outstanding.
Yeah.
And there's the Manhattan, really. So one or two big over at the start, really. They had the 16 second over, but and then a couple where they went sort of more than 10 towards the end. But actually, there was that period between 5 and 10 overs where really it just went quiet, didn't it?
Yeah,
the momentum was sucked out of the innings.
Yeah. And again, as we talked about, full credit to Somerset. You know, they got the opportunity and they just really applied the pressure. And tonight we didn't really cope with it. But we've been in these positions before, and you know, and you learn from those, don't you? And then come back stronger next time.
That's it.
Experience it.
That's it. Well, they're going to have to bowl well, Glamorgan, if they're going to get back in this game.
Early wickets.
Somerset need 131 to win here from their 20 overs. We'll be resuming, I think, in about just over 5 minutes' time. We're going to go and grab a glass of ice cold water, and we'll see you back here shortly for the second half. See you then. Well, welcome back. And the players are already on their way back out to the middle. Quick turnaround here at Sapphire Gardens. So Somerset require 131 to win here at Sapphire Gardens in Cardiff if they're to beat Glamorgan in this Vitality Blast match here this evening. Certainly been Somerset's game so far, dominant with the ball, and Glamorgan really struggled to put any partnerships together, and wickets tumbled at regular intervals. And so, Matt, you talked about mindset the whole time, about what Glamorgan's mindset should have been, and how individual batters should commit, and that's how you've got to approach this form of cricket. I guess if you're the Somerset opening pair, if they can just get off to an absolute flyer, I mean, it just kills this game stone dead, doesn't it? And that must surely be their ambition. Yeah,
I would have thought so. They'll try and win this in 13 overs. Their net run rate will be through the roof, and Glamours will take a massive hit, and that's what the only thing that Glamorgan need now is early wickets. They get early wickets, it'll extend the game, which is a big thing for them, but it will also give them a sniff as well. So if Glamorgan can get 3 wickets in the power play, there's a chance.
So here we go, Glamorgan opening with spin, Imad Wasim. Interesting tactic, opening with the spinner.
Yeah, it's what he does. I'm not sure if we've got the bowling resources to open with say Tim van der Gooten first over, just to get through the seamers. We saw Lewis Gregory bowl outside the power play for Somerset, and I think Dan Douthwaite's that kind of bowler. He's really suited to bowling outside of the power play. So if Imad bowls 2 in the power play, yep, Tim van der Gooten and Ned Leonard, that's your 6 there in the power play.
Yeah. And I often think, against spinner first up, then the batsman does have to hit it to get those boundaries rather than just use the pace, doesn't he? So does ask a slightly different question of the batters.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially someone like Imad, who's he's been round the blocks, comes in on that angle, he's got a slightly different action. Not easy at all. Mid wicket would be the area that I think I'd probably look to get him into. But obviously there's a fielder at deep square leg. I wouldn't say he's massively backward square leg and a long on.
No. It's Ben Kellaway down there doing the fielding to that one. So a tight ring of fielders on the offside. Backward point, fielder just in front of square, and then extra cover. Mid off. Swings across the line. Again, Imad holds his head in his hands. I think he felt that was almost through.
He almost slipped through there, didn't he? He went for the slog sweep Banton and nearly got under the bat and threw onto the stumps.
Tom Banton, a very exciting batsman when he gets going. Been back in England colours this season. Did well, didn't he, at Bristol?
Very well, yeah. He's found his form, and obviously in the Championship as well, he got a record score for Somerset. Just whilst we're on, I just want to give a shout out to a guy called Graham Mazurek out down in Somerset. I know he's listening, and I know he's also not been very well recently. So just get healthy, Maz, and we'll hopefully see you soon and have a round of golf. All the best, mate.
Well, and so say all of us, yeah. Our good wishes to you. So just 3 runs off the first over. Tidy start. Got through it very quickly as well. That's interesting, just get through it quickly. And now it is Tim van der Huften who's going to open proceedings from the right in front of us here at the Cathedral Road end. That's where we're sat in the commentary box. 1 slip in place. And straight away, hurry through for a quick single. I was hit straight to mid-on, but they committed early and got there.
Where are 2? Oh, third man and deep square.
Another 2 fielders who are out on the boundary. So Carlson, the captain, at short cover as well, as he always is. So Leeds right at the heart of the team there, always busy. looking for catches and just try and get in close and cut off the angle through the offside.
He's a good aggressive captain. He'll always take the more positive approach.
Yeah.
Try and be proactive rather than reactive as a captain.
Oh, again, good areas from Tim van der Hooten. A bit like Matt Henry did, just when Glamorgan were batting. It's that sort of area was just difficult to get away.
Just a little bit of seam on the wicket, isn't there? See, that's just nipped back a little bit there.
Yeah.
So that harder new ball has just been a little bit of, not extravagant by any stretch, but just a little bit.
So fine leg up, third man deep here. Nicely timed into the leg side, but a great piece of fielding down there.
Nice try, super work.
He's having a good game.
I was speaking to my brother-in-law earlier.
Oh yeah?
And he reckoned that round about 180 would have been about par on this particular wicket.
Okay.
And then he came down to 160.
Yeah, well, we shall never know, because they're only going to get 131 to win here, Somerset. And again, you'll be a bit disappointed with that, were you? They're just taking singles straight to the fielder here. Are they a bit deep? How do you counteract that? Or they just need to be a bit closer, is it?
Yep, you got it.
Because that's the fielding in that
It's a different game now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, because we are trying to defend a very small total. Like, you've got to be off that, kind of off the ring now, unless you're just pulling back for this last ball. But
so there's only 4 runs off it so far, but just dealing in 1s and 2s so far. Goes for something funky. Didn't come off. For a while it looked like Kieran Carlson, you can see there, might be racing in to take a low catch, but it didn't carry anywhere close to him really. Yeah, gosh, didn't go anywhere near where he'd hoped. But Banton survives, and Somerset 7 without loss from the first 2. So, I mean, Glamorgan got off to a flyer. Somerset have been very steady, but then they don't need to do too much, do they? I mean, I guess that's... But it's this mindset thing, isn't it? And I'm interested in it because you don't approach a low score by just thinking we're going to go steady, and that's a risky strategy, isn't it? You suddenly wickets start tumbling and you're in trouble. So first shot of real intent and gets it away.
I think the one thing it allows you is just to have a little bit more time to have a look. That's all. But in terms of that boundary hunting, that boundary looking, they'll still, both of these two will be really looking for them.
Yeah.
But it just gives them an extra 3 or 4 balls each.
Yeah.
Than what they'd normally do.
So first boundary. Smead sweeping. There's Ben Kellaway out there in front of the pavilion.
He's having a good season this year. He's Will Smead. I think he's second in the runs in the whole country.
Well,
David Milan is on top. He's in fantastic form.
Ooh, that turned, and he's got enough on that, a thick edge, and it's just going to trickle over the boundary as Colin Ingram gives chase in vain. So a couple of boundaries now, a little bit of luck. Yeah, it
did. Yeah, just held up a bit as well, wasn't it?
Turned and bounced, yeah. Got a lovely sort of natural action, doesn't he? Enjoy watching him bowl. Look at what he does with his left arm before he bowls. It's kind of like gives it a little flick and a... Rhythmical and sort of, a bit of an artistic flourish as he... There, look at that. That bit there. I like that. He's doing a decent job. A couple of boundaries this over, he'll be disappointed with. That last one was, he'll see as a moral victory.
Don't count for much though, does it?
True. And again, another quick single just to keep that scoreboard ticking, and that's a better over. They've taken 10 from that one. So 17 without loss. Steady progress. They only needed 6.5 really to win this game. Just a shade over 6.5, which is should be very comfortable, you would think.
I reckon we could have managed that in our day, back in the day. You know, that's...
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of run chase back in the day.
Yeah.
That, you know, if you got up to 8, no, you can't never score 8.
Yeah, it's funny how that's just changed, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, manage 6 and over. 5 and over, comfortable.
Yeah, there was perhaps in the old day, you'd feel a bit panicky when it was more than 6. It was just this kind of thing that a runner ball just had a kind of hold over your psychologically over most cricketers, but
mental.
Yeah.
And it's now probably doable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to that level, you know.
And it is filtering down, isn't it, even to the grassroots. I think younger cricketers think that's what they should do now, and yeah, it's really changed the whole culture of it. Slightly slower ball there. Just again tickles it round the corner, another single.
You always had this there, right? If I can, you know, and it usually, if you can score off a certain ball, say back of a length ball, if you can pull that ball or back foot punch that ball, or you know, to get a boundary, great. Now those same balls, the reverse lapping, the clipping them over the keeper's head, the flat batting them back over the bowler's head. That's huge.
That has gone all the way. And the first 6 is Smeed. And we've just the first sign of his power. Well, Callan Larn was just starting to drift through the air here as the Welsh fans tried to lift their team. The choir has now gone silent again.
He's taken that from off stump and hoid it over wide fine leg to the scoreboard. Nice. Oh, that's well bowled. But they sneaked it again.
Yeah, straight to the man. They need to be a bit closer. So that'll be annoying to Van der Hoften. Bowls a good ball. Hits it straight to a fielder, but they still get a single. So 8 from the over. Somerset 25 without loss, chasing 1-3-1 to win here at Sapphire Gardens in Cardiff. And that has been flicked between keeper and short fine leg, and another boundary, this time to Tom Banton.
Didn't quite get that one right there, Tim, did he? I think he went for the slow ball into the wicket. Yeah, leg cutter into the wicket, and he just didn't get the line right.
So you think it's just got to be about wickets here?
Has to, yeah.
About wickets.
And it's that mindset as a bowler that you have to carry on looking to take wickets.
That's been absolutely crunched through the offside. Successive boundaries, and that's been an expensive over. Pressure right back on Glamorgan.
And one of the best opening partnerships in the country, these two.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for what, 3 or 4 years now, I'd suggest. So they've got a good relationship, know how each other plays.
Athletic runners.
Very good runners, yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot going for them, it's fair to say. So Glamorgan persisting with Imad, who has been tidy. He was unlucky to concede a couple of overs last over, but that's a lovely shot.
That's a very good
he's
shot.
Just placed that, hasn't he? Just pushed that off the back foot. Didn't look like he'd hit it that hard, but it absolutely raced away.
great timing. Just a little bit short, but he's rocked back and picked the length up superbly. Boom. Great hands.
So making it look easy so far. Will Smith already up to 20. And this is the opening partnership that Somerset wanted. A lot of work to do. I think that's Ace of Tribe down there. It's going to beat him as well. And that's 4 more. And Smead is turning the screw now. So where did Glamorgan get their wickets here, Matt? I mean,
Will's just trying to look to hit every ball for 4 now. It's that mindset, whatever situation you need to be in. And I know it's a heck of a lot easier to say it. You touched on it earlier, but it's a lot easier to say it that you just stay in that position of trying to hit.
This should be out. It is. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt.
No. And that's what you need in this format of the game, you know. That positiveness to, you know, if he'd have come off there, they've won this game in the power play.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting 60, 70 in the power play, the game's over.
Yeah. So as it is, Will Smead departs for 24. He was just starting to go really, really well. It's Andy Gorvin who's taken the catch. Went straight up in the air there. Trying to hit a straight ball. And Andy Gorvin made no mistake. Safe pair of hands. Oh, it's Ned Leonard, sorry, not Andy Gorvin. It's Ned Leonard. They do look quite similar with their caps on, but he made the catch look easy. Nice catch. And Glamorgan have their first wicket in the 5th over. 41 for 1.
Need our trick.
Yeah, I think it's going to need something really special. One of those kind of golden bowling performances from someone.
Come on, get a slip in, Kieran.
Got to attack, is it? Well, I suppose that's it, isn't it? There's no point in just letting them work it round comfortably. Got to attack. So a ring of fielders on the offside, hoping he'll hit something in the air towards them. There's a short mid-wicket as well, in a catching position. But he has threaded that through. Oh, that's just exquisite placement from Tom Kohler-Cadmore.
Just been a little short this over, Imad, but that was a fantastic shot. Great execution. Didn't try and overhit it. What?
Oh, he had to.
One of the great nicknames, Ash. Tom Kohler-Cadmore's got.
What's his nickname?
Pepsi. Pepsi Cola. Good one, that.
I think my favourite nickname in sport was 36. Was it Billy 12 Trees?
Billy 12 Trees.
In Leicester rugby player.
Yeah,
12 Trees. Yeah, that was a good one. Always like that. But yeah, fair play. Pepsi. Who's Shirley in the team? That's what I want to know. Yeah. I think it's a different Pepsi. Other soft drinks are available.
He's in a hurry, isn't he?
He is. Again, little hand on that. That means it won't go to the boundary. And Ned Leonard chases after it. Yeah, 7 from 3. Banton 17 from 13. And after 5 overs, Somerset looking very comfortable. 48 for 1.
Does look a good wicket, mind, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It has nothing too difficult.
Just the odd one is
a little bit of turn and bounce from one there.
One spun, couple nipped a little bit, but it's a belter.
Yeah.
Now looking forward to watching young Ned have a bowl here. A lot of potential.
Yeah. So, what do you know about him, Matt? So, from Somerset.
From Somerset, yeah. And just come through their system, and I think just wanted to play more cricket.
Yeah.
As simple as that. And they've got lots of bowling resources, Somerset.
Well, we saw that earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the money there. That was a good start.
He's probably as quick as we've got on our staff.
Yeah.
Late 70s, early 80s, that kind of pace. Really good attitude. So the bowling coach Dave Harrison tells me, really nice lad to work with.
So let's see what he can do. What a chance to make a name for himself here. Oh, and that has just whistled through past the outside edge. Yeah, good carry on that one. He's a long way back, isn't he, Chris Cook?
Yeah, he is.
So this is the last over of the power play. So after this, Glamorgan push a few more men back. At the moment, they've got deep square leg out and the third man. Oh, it's been a good start. 3 dots.
The key is how many do they put out?
So you think maybe they should
Just
they need
maybe
wickets.
keep one more in.
Yeah.
So rather than have 5 out of the circle, just maintain 4, just so you can potentially keep that, build a bit of pressure with dots because you've got the extra fielders in the circle, potentially.
Got a question to ask you about deep fielders in a moment after this ball. Because sometimes it feels like, particularly in T20 cricket, where you're encouraging the batters to hit square of the wicket quite a lot. They sometimes feel like quite attacking, in the sense you get a lot of catches down there. You're always saying, come on, try and hit me for 6. And they get a lot of catches down there. So, I mean,
Yep.
those deep fields of deep square leg, deep mid wickets, sometimes a lot of catches do go to them. And that can be a tactic to use them as attacking, catching fielders by bowling shorter and encouraging the batter to try and hit the ball to them. Well,
that's how we lost our first wicket today with Kieran Carlson. A short ball, hit it really well, but it hit it to deep backward square.
Yeah, that's how Ben Kellaway went as well, wasn't it? Carving it to point there.
Well, similar to that one off Collar Cadmore there, but he didn't get enough elevation on it to hit it over the field.
That's right. So one more ball left of the power play, and that's slightly spoilt Leonard's first over. So the first run he's conceded is a boundary, so he'll hope to finish well. I think must have just brushed the pad on the way through, so no wide given, and only 4 off it. So decent over from Ned Leonard. He was just one ball with a bit too much width and
good set, wasn't it?
Apart from that, a good set, yeah.
Good set. I mean, Collar Cadmore's moving around the crease a little bit there.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, just.
I think the ball before he stayed a little bit more leg side, didn't he? And
well, it's a lovely sunny evening here. Great to see people enjoying the sunshine. It's definitely a shades and hats evening. Quite hard in that stand looking out into the sun. It gets very low over the top of the pavilion here, so you do need your shades on to see what's going on if you're there in the main Pro Steel stand to our right here. And it's Dan Douthwaite now. So as soon as the power play is over, 52 for 1 Somerset at the end of the power play, and the introduction straight away of Dan Douthwaite.
Yeah, I like this. Dan will try and make something happen. Doesn't always work, of course, but he'll try and make something happen.
And his first ball has gone away for 4. Wasn't hit with much venom, but nicely timed and perfectly placed. And Tom Banton already into the 20s and looking a little bit ominous. Yeah, even outpacing the athletic Ace of Tribe, that one. So hit the pitch bowler. That's Dan Douthwaite. Big appeal, he's given and he's gone. Douthwaite strikes, and you can see what that means to him.
Said he'd make things happen. He looks as if he's done him for a bit of pace there. And he does actually bowl up, because he just ambles up to the wicket, doesn't he? But he's so strong in the shoulders and at the crease. Just never know here. Bang, bang.
Yeah, he does. Dan Douthwaite does have that feel of he's feisty, isn't he? He likes a battle. He's competitive. The way he bats as well is similar. So yeah, that's I suppose it's that sort of. He's clapping. You can see him sort of urging the team on. And look at that appeal and celebration. Yeah. Wow, he hasn't given up.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah,
that's out. So the danger man Tom Banton is gone. And just at the start of the 7th over, Glamorgan have their second wicket. Still a lot of work to do, but they've given themselves a little bit of a chance. There is a faint chink of light.
Say it's 5-2, Ash, in football parlance.
Football terms, yeah, 5-2 to Somerset. So 56 for 2. New batsman Tom Abel. He's off the mark straight away, running it down to third man, where Tim van der Hoften fields.
No, it's got to slip in place now.
And so you were saying that Dan Douthwaite is not a bowler that you'd bowl in the power play. What's the difference then of why you'd bowl him out of the power play as opposed to in the power play?
He's actually got decent variations, but he needs. I think he benefits from having those extra fielders out of the circle. Yeah. 4 is that slow ball bouncer, quick bouncer, slightly wide. That's 4 runs in the power play.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he won't have a third man. He'll probably have a square man on the offside, or maybe 2 on the leg side. Mm-hmm. So that would have been. So that's why I wouldn't, because he doesn't quite have the control of, say, a Tim van der Guter in terms of his line and length, or a Matt Henry, or a Riley Meredith. But that uncertainty is also makes him quite a dangerous bowler in this format as well, because you're not quite sure what's coming.
So, hard to second guess, because he bowls with quite a variety. Ooh, and again, that's a little inside edge. I think he, for a moment, thought that might have been chopped back onto the stumps.
And he has got a good variety. That's a good thing about him. He does work very hard on his slower balls and the skills there.
He bowls a bit of the death, doesn't he, as well? Yeah. Which I guess is that variation is what you want in those situations. Batsman tries to set themselves and think they know what's coming, and if you can sort of kid them and bowl something else, you've got a chance.
You've got a chance.
That's a lovely shot. Oh, the timing on that. Effortless from Tom Abel.
I still think a good old-fashioned Yorker doesn't go, mate. We've only seen one in the match tonight.
Yeah, they've sort of gone out of fashion a bit, haven't they?
And it's got a wicket.
But yeah. And I think about Yorkers, if you just miss, they're very hittable.
Do you reckon he went for a Yorker there then? Maybe.
He probably did.
Or a length ball and just overpitched. Or a Yorker and underpitched. Who's to know? Yeah, only Dan knows, doesn't he?
That's true.
Only.
Yeah.
Come on now, Mason Crane needs to spin a web here.
Well, he is a key man, leading wicket taker in this competition for Glamorgan this season, as he was last season. Really key man. Just groping for my glasses here so I can just look at the stats. Yeah, 17 wickets in the competition so far, best of 4 for 20, average of just 12 and a half. Economy rate of close to 8. So it's the wickets is the thing that he really delivers. Turns it both ways. Got a good googly.
Deceptive.
Yep. Well, Glamorgan could really do with a couple of wickets here. A little bit of turn there. Started out on leg stump and it straightened up a bit.
I think where Mason's at his best, if the opposition need 9, 10 and over, something like that, so they're under pressure to come after him.
Yeah.
And I think he does a fantastic job then.
Gives that one some air. It's just going to land in no man's land. Wasn't a convincing shot. Tom Kohler-Cadmore gets a couple. You talked about similar shots earlier where a batsman doesn't feel like they totally committed to it or are slightly deceived.
It's almost a last minute decision that appeared.
It's another single down the ground. It's Will Smale fielding down there in front of the crowd, close to the indoor cricket centre here. chipped in the air. They look for 2, but good piece of fielding. Ben Kellaway's in very quickly, just keeps them to 1. One of the new breed of sort of athletic fielders in this Glamorgan side.
It's great to see, actually. It's very good to see. Do look almost a transformed side in the field.
And a single to finish the over. So 7 from Mason Crane's first over. He just worked him around really there. 5 singles and a 2.
Yeah,
that's all they need to do.
If they need to hit him for boundaries, he's going to create a lot more of opportunities to take wickets, because he's quite a good defensive bowler. Even though he's not afraid to flight it. He's not afraid to bowl a quick one, to bowl his googly, and experiment. But he's not that easy to line up if you need boundaries consistently.
No.
I think that's why he's been pretty successful, really.
So if they don't need to play too many big shots, has Kieran Carlson, the Glamorgan captain, got to do something different and
maybe bring someone up?
Yeah, a different field position to encourage him to get out in a rather than just being caught in the deep, to get out in a different way.
Yeah.
So as Ned Leonard has swapped ends here, he's coming in from the River Taff end now.
Maybe just bring someone in 5 yards, 10 yards off the boundary, take a risk there, you know.
So Somerset won't be worried about the rate at which they're scoring, such a low total. It's just kind of making sure that they're all there, really. And a few of these batsmen hang around long enough to impact the game. Nice piece of work. It's Mason Crane. There's no rest for him in between overs. Working hard down there on the square leg boundary. Good save, that one. Sopta would have certainly been a boundary. Scrambled quickly to his left. 2 men quite close there. So you've got to really be accurate and hit the ball very, very hard to get in between those 2 on the leg side. Width the other side. Straight at Dan Dalthwaite. Just a single. He hit that one very hard. He really did. Be disappointed about where it went. Probably 5 yards either side of Dan Dalthwaite, and that would have been a boundary. As it was, straight to him.
It's the first time I've seen Ned Leonard in the flash bowl, actually, live. I've actually been pretty impressed with what I see here. Nice approach to the crease, strong action, bit of pace.
Yeah, got a nice fluent run.
Yeah.
Run up, runs in hard. Glamorgan obviously saw something in him. Keen to get him here. Get him up the M5.
He came on, didn't he come for a couple of on loan for a couple of games initially, and then they like what he brought and how he fit into the dressing room.
Better try before you buy, and they liked it. Yeah. Just one more. So again, tidy over. Just 4 singles from it so far. 1 ball to come. Yeah, Ned Leonard. I think Edward is his full name, I think. Ned. Well, I thought, what's Ned short for? I thought it might be Leonard or something else, but I think it's Edward.
Not too many Leonards around these days, are there?
No. I've been checking. The only reason was my wife is expecting, as you know. We're expecting a boy, and I thought one way of trying to work out a good name would be to go through the list of county cricketers, and both been through every scorecard to see if there's a good name. We quite like Ned.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be that, so let's
Neddy.
Ned. But I think so. I looked at, but I think it's short for. It's not Benedict, which Ned can be short for. I think it's Edward. I'll confirm that. As he completes a pretty successful over, just 5 singles from it. 74 for 2 from 9, and Somerset proceeding without too much trouble here. They've lost a couple of wickets, but feels comfortable. Was I right?
It does. You are absolutely right. Edward Owen Leonard.
Edward Owen Leonard.
Edward Owen.
Goes by Ned.
By Ned. How do you get Ned out of Edward?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
It was something of surprise when I was like, I thought, what would it be? Benedict? Leonard? Well, that's his surname, so it wouldn't be that. Yeah. Nedwin. It's a Welsh name I've just made up. I don't know if that exists.
There you go.
Nedwin. There we go.
Love. No, we're calling our boy
There's
Nedwin.
a Medwin, but Nedwin. There we go. It's a nice way of Welshifying it. So Mason Crane to continue for the Cathedral Road end. Goes aerial and goes all the way. Just makes it. And that's 6 to Tom Kohler-Cadmore. Will Smale was closing in on that. It just had a little bit too much on it. He couldn't get to it.
Lovely strike, wasn't it?
It was.
Just gave himself that little bit of room just to free his arms up. So 2 little steps back.
Yeah, Will Smale's not far away from where that landed. He's only got about sort of 10 yards to go.
Bald.
Yeah, varying the pace nicely, a bit of flight, tossing it up, encouraging them. I suppose that's when you toss it, you're trying to instinctively just allure the batsman to play a big shot and to let their eyes light up and see if you can deceive them to hit it in the air, I suppose.
Well, you talked about it with the seamers, and same thing about them coming hard into the wicket, trying to bowl it short so you hole out a deep backward or deep mid-wicket.
Just over Carlson's head, that one.
And then with the spinner, it's the other way, isn't it? You actually try and flight it to get it up there.
Yeah.
Get them to hopefully mistime it to a long off or long on or short cover. Those kind of areas.
Surprisingly difficult to work out where a ball lands that's got topspin on it when they get it high sort of above the eye line for a bit, isn't it? I think that's one thing that it's often the length of where the ball lands rather than the turn for those flighty ball that gets players out, isn't it?
Oh, a little bit of both.
Well, that one has gone. He's connected with that. No doubt about that. That has been smashed into the crowd. I don't think it was taken. There's a man on his hands and knees trying to fetch it from under the seats at the moment.
Just having a little look there to see if... oh no, just ball retrieval.
Yeah, he found it okay and flicked it back over the fence. Powerful strike. Cadmore on to 33 from 20. And they're doing what they need to do. Well, 2 sixes this over. This is a costly one. It's just going to really race this Somerset innings on. Get them very close to the winning target. I say very close, but it'll be a big leap, a big step towards it. And that's the end of the over. 14 from it, including 2 sixes. Somerset 88 for 2 after 10, and looking comfortable, Matt.
Yeah, it's been a good chase. They've had those partnerships, haven't they? You know, which Glamorgan failed to do after the initial partnership and the one in the middle order later on between Tribe and Douthwaite. But apart from that, they didn't get the partnership. What Somerset have done, initial partnership of... What was the first partnership there?
Oh, sorry. Is that?
Go down.
Oh,
there you go, 41. And then, all right, 14 the next one, but this one's on 30 odd already.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing, just so you can keep that momentum up of scoring and scoring quickly.
Yeah, they're getting enough boundaries, aren't they, just to really keep that rate ticking along. So Glamorgan turned to Dan Douthwaite to try and make something happen again. In the air. He has made it happen. Well, the golden arm. He came on and made a difference in his first over. He's done the same in his second. And it's Tom Abel who's gone. Well,
not quite the fist pump, though, of his first one, was there?
No.
Quite the elation.
No, that maybe the body language slightly giving away what they feel like is imminent, but yeah, it was the same combination. Yeah, just tried to drive that one on the up, didn't get anything like a good contact and chipped it up for a very easy catch for Will Smale. So 88 for 3.
I think this fella coming in now, Sean Dixon, is one of the most underrated players in the county game.
What do you like about him?
I just think he's got a lot of shots. He's combative. And he scores runs consistently. You don't really hear,
No, you don't hear him talked about very much, really.
But he's fairly experienced now,
Yeah.
But he's been a very good signing for Somerset.
So he's on strike now. Dan Douthwaite, 2 wickets. And it's like he's possibly one of Glamorgan's best chance here to keep taking wickets and give them a slim hope. No wide given. Again, I think the umpire must feel he's shuffled over a little bit there as the ball whizzed past his hip.
I actually think the umpires have done it really well tonight. I think they've really officiated well in terms of their decision that they've made.
Yeah, if he'd stood still, that would have hit him, wouldn't it? So I think yeah, some umpires probably would have given that, wouldn't they? It's almost like anything down the leg side they just give without reflecting on whether the batsman's moved. But yeah, seems like a fair decision and a short one.
It's a good ball, that. Nicely played, good cricket.
Goes down there to try and have a little stare at Dixon. Dixon wasn't interested, turned away and wandered off to square leg just to compose himself for the next one. Doesn't need to engage really in getting any of those battles, I don't suppose, with not many runs needed. 43 runs, what they need now. 57 remaining, 7 wickets in hand. Nice position to be in from Somerset's perspective. Clipped off the leg stump. It's just going to be 1.
I once had a telling off for staring Wayne Daniel after he bowled me a bouncer.
Brave man.
Yeah, and he was kind of running through us. We were 25 for 5 at the time. One with this bouncer up at Lord's, Gatton and Embry were in the slips and stuff, having a chat. And I stared at him, and the captain said to me, he said, "Don't do that, look at your boots, lad, look at your boots." And
what ball did you get next? Oh,
so that was the last ball of the over.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's probably
so Norman Cowan swinging it like crazy on the other end as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first ball of Diamond's next over, Wayne Daniel's next over, was my captain was facing.
Okay, yes,
right.
And fired up angry.
And he's bowled a short wide one.
Yeah.
And smacked it for 4, cut it for 4.
Yeah.
And I went down the wicket and said, "Told you." 2 balls later, he was out. Stumps flying everywhere.
Yeah, some cricketers like to get in a contest, don't they? That fires them up. They just want to get in a battle somehow. They kind of need that to play well.
Yeah.
I think other cricketers just want to be in their own world, in their own little bubble.
Assassins.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors and assassins, yeah. So the Warriors get me in that fight, get me, and then the assassins, someone like Alistair Cook.
Yeah.
We all remember Alistair Cook opening the batting for years for England. No, whatever you said to it didn't alter his demeanour.
No.
You could never look at him and think England are winning this test match, England are losing this test match. You get nothing from his body language or anything. He was just always the same, very controlled emotionally. And then you obviously got the Warriors, those guys who really like that contest and that fight and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had very fortunate enough to have Marnus down here, who's a massive warrior, and getting in that fight, and he loved all that.
Yeah, very interesting. The different characters, that's what makes cricket so fascinating, so many ways, in so many aspects, but the personalities and the role that plays as a reverse sweep is played exquisitely for 4 by Dixon. Well, he made that look eay. Fetched it from outside leg stump.
Isn't it brilliant? The shots these days that guys play, it's just
high skill.
High skill indeed.
To get good at something like a reverse sweep, do you just have to get someone to give you throwdowns and just do it over and over and over again? Is that just basically what you've got to do?
It's like it's the movement is the absolute key thing. So the head position is the absolute key thing. If you can get your head in front, well bowled, but just bowled him and done him with a googly there, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was a beauty.
If you can get your head in front of your front knee when you're going forward, it allows your hands then to work on a better plane.
Yeah.
If your head's more in your if your knees ahead of your head, then it'll get trapped. It'll trap your hands, and so that's the main thing with sweeping and reverse sweeping, is that you get really low and get that head out in front of the knee.
And how much premeditation is that? I mean, it has to be premeditated, doesn't it? You have to decide you're going to do it, because there's not enough time to, even against, a spinner, is there, to see it and then decide.
I think the way the game's going, there's more and more premeditation. Batters used to wait and react to what had happened. As the game's moving forward through T20 cricket, the 100 competition, there's more and more premeditation. Guys have decided what they're going to do before that bowler's left the ball go.
And then the skill is, if it's at a slightly different place to what you're expecting, still to hit it.
Yeah, or how can you adapt?
Yes.
So you're like 99% committed.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I used to talk about back in the day. I mean, one of the greatest finishers in white ball, and this was Michael Bevan of Australia.
Yeah, remember well.
Phenomenal record for finishing an innings on run chases, being not out at the end to, win the match for his country. And he was saying he just basically targeted mid-off through to straightish mid-wicket, and that's the only area that he targeted. And he practiced hard to hit a short ball there, a fuller ball there, a mid waist ball there, a full toss, all these types of delivery. But the one that he couldn't was one that was wide of off stump.
Yeah.
He couldn't get it. If it wasn't too wide, if it was 6 stump, he could hit it flat, back it straight. But if it was wider than that, so all he tried to do is beat that backward point. And that was his sole thinking about, batting, just having that clarity to do that, and he did it. He was exceptional.
Yeah.
And a great person to talk to about it, about how he went about it.
Yeah.
So he premeditated every ball he's going to go in that area.
Okay, really interesting. Yeah. And I guess partly you can premeditate and then you move to a place where, I guess then you move on the crease to make that shot easier. Well, that's been driven over the top of cover. It's going to go all the way. Well, that's a boundary from Dan Dalford. He hasn't conceded many. Has looked a handful. But it just helps Somerset. What at the moment feels like a cruise towards the victory target.
Very much so, yeah. We've seen a number of premeditated shots tonight. People coming across the crease and scoop in. They're all premeditated.
Yeah. So, chance here. Chance. Well taken. And Kola Cadmore is out. It's a lovely catch. It's Mason Crane down there on the deep cover boundary. As a third wicket for Dan Dalthwaite. Well, he's just keeping Glamorgan just in the fight here. Faint, but still.
7-4. 7-3.
Yeah.
Football parlance. 7-3.
So we're in hat-trick territory here. Sort of.
Yeah.
We're in.
And that might bring it back to 7-5 or something like that.
Well, if it's 7-4, a hat-trick would bring it back to 7-7, wouldn't it?
No, it's 7-3 at the minute.
Oh, 7-3. Okay, 7-6 then.
Well, no, you don't get a goal every time you take a wicket.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that.
Well, otherwise Somerset would have had 10 in the first innings, wouldn't they?
True.
And it was only 5-2 or 5-1 at half time.
Okay. So why 7-4? Why not?
Not
why
sure,
not 4-1?
really. I'm not sure.
I hope you're following this at home. We know what you mean.
Stick to cricket.
It's a helpful metaphor.
Yeah,
no,
thank you.
It has helped. It's a helpful metaphor.
They're winning quite comfortably.
Yeah. And it's going to take something pretty special, something that you don't see very often in cricket for Glamorgan to haul this back. Yeah. So Dan Dalthwaite's doing his best. 3 wickets. Again, they get the single. Just eases the pressure a little bit. Oh, apologies there. I think shy at the stumps thudded into the leg of Lewis Gregory. There's a slight smirk from the fielder there at cover. Is that Mason Crane?
You don't have to apologise for that.
I once played in a charity game, and as a not a very good cricketer, playing against him where David Hemp was playing for the opposition, then Glamorgan captain, I hit him between the shoulder blades with a shy. As that ball is put away by Dixon, he's going along very nicely, moves into double figures. Yeah, it was.
That's a good effort, that. Between the shoulder blades.
Yeah, it wasn't an accurate throw. I think he was I don't think he was even close to one of the stumps at the end, just running through, and I threw it in, and just hit him in the back. Not good.
And David was quite calm about it, was he?
Do you know what? I didn't go up and ask him, to be honest. I just gave myself 10 yards in the field and got as far away from him as I could.
Wise man.
On that. Yeah. You all seem like quite a nice fellow, though, David Hemp, didn't he?
Lovely lad.
Yeah.
Short fuse. Could go. Very funny.
Well, I didn't approach him.
Very funny man, David Hemp.
So 105 for 4 after 13 overs. Well, the maths is very much on Somerset's side. They just need 26 runs to win now, with 6 wickets in hand and plenty of time. 7 overs, 42 balls. So they don't need to do anything particularly special here. Just bat and stay in. And the way, with the talent of these two batsmen and the experience they've got, it is going to take something magnificent and special. But Mason Crane is that sort of bowler who can bowl extraordinary balls. We've seen a couple, again, been beaten by... He's bowled a beautiful googly earlier on. That one was the googly, but he started it too much down the leg side. And it's called for a wide.
I'll tell you what, though. Sean Dixon did not read that as a googly at all. He was playing that as a leg spinner.
Yeah.
So, if I was Mason, I'd bowl another googly now, but try and get my line just outside off stump or off stump.
Yeah. We swept very powerfully. Good fielding, brilliant from Callaway.
It's the old adage, if you don't know which way it's spinning, sweep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I wonder if that just takes the spin out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter which way it spins.
Doesn't matter.
Well, that's what really interesting, watching England opening batter. I'm having a brain fade. Duckett, who just seems to sweep everything. That's almost like his forward defensive, isn't it, the sweep?
Yeah. Yeah, terrific player. All formats as well, isn't it? I mean, that's the beauty of the game now. These guys doing it across all formats of the game.
And is it an obvious point? But is it because he's a short man that makes sweeping an easier prospect because it's just less far to get down?
It'll help a little bit, but I thought Kevin Peterson was a wonderful sweeper.
Yeah.
And he's 6'4", you know. It's just the positions. You can be a short man, get into a bad position, and you won't be a very good sweeper.
No.
It's all about the body position you get yourself in that can...
Another googly.
That'll allow you to play and execute the shot as well as someone like Duckett does.
Well, I wonder whether Gregory might try and sweep this time again, because I think didn't look again as if he really picked that googly either. So, go on, let's guess. Do you think he'll sweep this one?
I don't know if Lewis is a massive sweeper.
Ooh,
that's more Lewis running down.
It was a bounce ball, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. One of the players you would have coached against Lewis Gregory. He's been around there for Somerset for a while. So you were what?
Yeah.
Your last year coaching there, 2017.
2017, yeah.
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 The mainstay of the squad. Oh, and that has zipped off the pitch.
It's been an excellent set, this, hasn't it?
It has been very, very good. Yeah, outstanding. Just a little wide to mar it at the start. Oh, look at that pace and bounce. Real bit of zip off the pitch.
I don't think either batsman have picked one delivery that is bowled yet this over.
Well, brilliantly bowled. Just 2 from it, including the wide. Well, that's an outstanding over. But the sad truth is, from a Glamorgan perspective, that Somerset can comfortably afford to have a couple of overs like that. It doesn't really make any difference.
No. What it does do, it will help Glamorgan's net run rate though, which isn't very strong at the moment, and it'll probably go into negative after this match. Yeah, so they want to try and drag this out for as long as they possibly can.
So that's the sort of thing that could decide, I suppose, whether you're in a quarter-final or not, if a number of teams are clustered around the same amount of points, 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
Net run
So
rate
it's
might be
always
the thing.
something to keep an eye on, you know. Keep trying to set every single run right until the very end, you know. Keep going right till the end.
Well, Mason Crane has bowled out. No wickets for 29. Unlucky not to get a wicket as Imad returns. Delicate reverse sweep from, well, Dixon is a sweeper. We've seen that. He's got a lovely variety of shots. Gregory just 1 run from the 6 balls he's faced so far.
And he's been on fire this year.
Yeah.
With the bat. He's scored some very important runs for Somerset this year.
Biding his time. Well, they're going to think about 2 here. Sent back.
Fielded. That's what the Glamorgan members and coaching staff will be delighted about, that kind of attitude there. With the game slipping away, but still showing that commitment in the field. Dan Douthwaite, I think that was out there.
So this is Imad's final over. He bowled 3 at the start. Again, just a comfortable single. That will be more than enough. So how can Glamorgan create any sense of pressure? It's very, very
that's
hard
it. Bring mid on up. Bring mid on up.
Yeah.
Get him to try and go across the ball, across the line of the ball. Just slightly miss it. Catch the mid wicket there to Carlson. Skipper.
He's in very close at mid wicket. It's Carlson. Oh, but the guy comes in, and that has been slapped straight over the top from Gregory. Big wide space out there, and the pressure, the tiny amount of pressure that there was, which to be honest wasn't really very much at all, is released.
Not much pressure.
Not much pressure.
No. And that's the thing, isn't it? He can sit on it. He doesn't have to go looking, because it's only. That's why spinners, you know, if they can have 9, 10, 11 and over to defend, they become a lot different bowlers in that at that time.
Gregory's run the first one quickly, but fielding in rocketed in on the bounce by Dan Douthwaite there. Pick of the bowlers so far, 3 for 21 has Dan Douthwaite. Imad Wasim 1 for 31. 1 for 35, in fact, midway through his final over. A slightly quicker one. He just fire it through. And that's it. That's the end of his spell. 1 for 36 from his 4 overs. That's a lovely evening as the Blast takes a break for a little while.
Does.
Now, bit of championship cricket.
Back to the proper stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are quite a few players are in both teams in this side, aren't they? So, I mean, does that take any sense of adjustment in terms of? I suppose mentality takes a little bit of adjustment, but is that hard to do to switch between formats?
It's something that you get used to, and the more you do it, I mean, I would love to see, you know, Friday night here in Cardiff, best crowd I've had all year, because it's a Friday night, people can come out.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, hardly anyone. It's not a night that people come out, you know, especially when the kids have just gone back after half term.
Well, he's trapped that under his left foot.
I know, yeah.
That was kind of like Ryan Giggs in his prime there.
I would just leave that go if I was a quick bowler.
He's walking back, trying not to limp.
Yeah.
I'm not going to limp. I'm not going to let him know that.
Oh.
And the look, I love the look as well. That didn't hurt. That's what he's saying. I look forward to. We'll be looking at the bruise later, I think. Oh, he's got hold of that one, hooked it away. Tried to follow him with the bouncer, but Gregory got enough on that.
I forgot what I was going to say then as well. Can't have been that important.
Was it about his bruise on his foot?
No, before the bruise, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, you were mid-flow. Sorry.
I was, but I can't remember what.
Oh, we were talking about transitioning between formats of...
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
Yorker. Nicely bowled, but well dug out as well. And they get a single.
I would love to see a Friday night T20 league. And then you start your championships on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A lot of sides have, and you build your squads around that, your bowling attacks, etc. around that. But I think it's the best for the crowds of Friday evening.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great way to start the weekend. Always is here. Just clears the man at short mid-wicket. Bit of work for Ace of Tribe to do. He gets round. It's going to be a comfortable 2.
And then everyone knows that every other week on a Friday night, Glamorgan will be playing at home.
Yeah.
As opposed to going through the fixture list, I can't make that Friday. Oh, there's not another Friday. They're not home on another Friday. Tuesday I can't make. Saturday afternoon. So I just think it would be, good for the game to do it that way. That's my personal opinion on it. And then start Champion cricket on a Sunday. Therefore, players will get used to flitting between the formats.
Yep.
And it's a mental thing. It's not physical. It's mental.
No, the cricket schedule is a complicated thing, isn't it? Difficult to keep everyone happy, and sort of different variations and to factor in working out who plays when. That's a loose one, and that's been put away. Leg stump full toss. Dixon gives that what it deserved.
Yeah, the big one is obviously the 100 coming in to have then 2 white ball competitions over the space of a month or so. It's a very difficult thing to manage, isn't it? And the 100, by the looks of it, has been a lifesaver for a lot of counties, and if money's invested wisely, will keep the game healthy for a long, long time. But I'd love to see this as a league. The Sunday league used to be very popular, but obviously on a Sunday, 2 o'clock, after people had Sunday lunch. But I think a Friday night now with this particular format would just be terrific.
Really nice way of doing it, yeah, it would. And I think you just knowing that there's always going to be a game. I think, like you said, that's the benefit, isn't it?
And your championship cricket's then played all the way through the year.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously the block for the 100.
So as Ben Kellaway is going to have a bowl, and we wait to see which arm he'll begin with. I think the smart move will be on the right arm, which is, let's say, his main one. Who's he bowling to? Yeah, bowling to a right hand bat. I think he tends to bowl left arm to, is that right? Yeah, going to come right arm round by the looks of it, I think. Or is it? I can't tell. What's he said?
No, I'm with you.
Right arm round. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to have the choice?
And they look so similar.
Yeah.
The actions when he bowls off spin and left arm orthodox. It's just like watching a young man in the mirror.
So right arm round for the moment from Ben Kellaway. Targeting a sort of a leg stump sort of line. But easy singles. What is this? Just trying to keep the game going for as long as possible.
Well, the game's gone, hasn't it? They need 2 runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just try and take it as long as possible. 2 to win. Chases off. He doesn't want it to be that ball. Yeah. And the captain, Kieran Carlson. Okay, well, the scores are level.
And the scoreboard's crashed. 128 for 4. It's not moved on from that first ball.
Oh dear.
But
well,
you can see it at home on the monitors there. 134.
And that's it. We think that is it. There might be a little bit of confusion here as the scoreboards stop working. Is that it?
One more.
No one's.
No, that's it.
That's it. There we go. Yeah, I think there's some confusion here because no one knows the game's over. It is. The graphics on your screen are correct, and the handshakes can now happen. It has been a comfortable win for Somerset. Never really in doubt. Glimmers of hope as Dan Delthwaite took a few wickets there, but actually the score was always too low, wasn't it? The 180 that you dreamed of, Matt, that felt like par, or what Glamorgan needed to get, well, they were miles from that. 50 runs short, and therefore Somerset really didn't need to get out of second or third gear.
No, they didn't. But they won comfortably. What, four and a bit overs to go. So, 3.2 to go. So, comfortable win by Somerset. I thought they bowled brilliantly once he got that first wicket. I mean, Matt Henry. I think I've said this before. Have I? Oh no, Matt Henry had gone for 14 off 7 balls.
Yeah.
And he finished his spell going for 18.
Yes.
So 2.5 overs. He's gone for 4 runs.
Incredible.
Oh, terrific. In this format, it was just absolute. And I think that was out on the way. Riley Meredith also bowled. Also, they were very tight in the. Glamorgan couldn't get singles away at the time. They were very tight in the circle. So they was it. I thought that they looked super outfit in the field there tonight, Somerset, and Glamorgan just a little bit off it tonight. But I think that was the pressure.
Yes, in the batting department, just didn't get enough runs, and the bowling was relentless. Just once that opening pair had gone, hardly anyone else, with the exception of Savasa Tribe in the middle, really showed much resistance or hung around long enough to build anything. So disappointment on the Glamorgan faces. You can see why Somerset are now 7 from 8 in this competition, leading the way in the South Group, and they're probably not far off having booked themselves a semi-final place, a quarter-final place already, you would think. It's a comfortable win here by 6 wickets here at Sapphire Gardens. And Matt, we've just got a few minutes just to briefly reflect on what we saw. And it's the batting, I suppose you'd have to say, for Glamorgan tonight. Just the Somerset bowling against the Glamorgan batting, and there was a very clear winner. Yeah,
and that's the kind of game. The one thing that potentially they'll discuss is next time they come, they have to keep going harder.
Yeah.
You can't. And that's what I thought our best batter did in the most pressure.
Yeah.
So when Asa Tribe came in, there was the most pressure because we'd lost so much. But he just went and played his game, and it was wonderful to see. And that's a mentality to be successful at T20 cricket that you have to have. Yeah. You have to keep going. We saw Will Smead there. He'd hit him and was in for 2 bad, and he's still trying to go again. And it might sound, Dad, no, it's reckless and stuff like that, but to win trophies, it's not about on this particular wicket tonight. Your minimum is 180. But if you're winning the game, you want to go and get a 210.
Yeah.
And to do that, you've got to be really brave. You've got to be brave and fearless as a batting group. And whatever ball has just gone, it's gone. Focus on the next one. Yeah. Have a clear plan of what you're going to do on the next one, and try and execute that as well as you can.
Yeah. Well, Somerset didn't really need to kind of commit in quite that way, did they? I mean, again, you can see, they were sort of, the batsmen at the top were all comfortably more than running a ball as you'd expect, but they didn't really. It didn't feel like they ever needed to sort of string a series of boundaries together in a consistent way. It just felt there wasn't much pressure on them, and it felt fairly comfortable.
Yeah, very much. I think they took the time because they knew they had time. It was a low total to for Glamorgan to defend, for them to chase. But then when they did get in, they played some expensive shots as well. So it wasn't just limited to knocking it around. They also wanted to finish the match soon. But yeah, as you say, every batter there really is scoring at 100 or 130, 140, 150.
Yeah, so everyone chipping in and very, very comfortable, really. Yeah, Dan Delthwaite, he did make an impact when he came on first and second over, took a wicket straight away, and we can see his figures. He's definitely the standout bowler for Glamorgan. We're 3 for 33.
That's typical. That's what Dan does. You know, he's an exciting cricketer because he does this, and he's a mature cricketer. He's 28 years of old now. He's had quite a bit of experience, but it's nice seeing that he's really delivering this season with both bat and ball in this competition.
And you like Ned Leonard as well. I mean, look, he only bowled a couple of overs in the end, but it was was tidy, wasn't he? And his economy rate was good. You liked what you saw.
Like the look of there. There's certainly promise and potential there. Yeah, to maybe get. He's still 22, so as he kind of gets stronger in his body, which he will do, there might be another half a yard of pace out there, and he's sharp enough as it is. So. He looked very comfortable, very, very nice for him. So I was pleased by what I saw there tonight.
Yep, definitely a positive. Well, there's the match summary for you. Glamorgan, just 130 for 9. Never looked like being enough, really. Only a little bit of resistance from Asa Tribe in the middle there. And after Carlson and Smale had got Glamorgan off to a brisk start in the first 2 or 3 overs, but after that, really, it was... it's a damage limitation, and Glamorgan struggled to 130 for 9. Incredible bowling. We've mentioned the stat about Somerset's bowlers they bowled 59 dot balls tonight. I mean, that's phenomenal bowling. Incredible control time, and it says something about the field as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, we saw in Tim van der Guten's first over, they snuck 2 singles, one to mid on, one to mid off. That wouldn't have happened whilst we were batting.
Yeah.
The Somerset fielders would have been that much tighter, and to stop that, and 59, that's you want to keep it around about the 30 mark.
Yeah.
So when it's 59 is an awful lot.
Yeah, it was, and so really then Somerset didn't have, by their standards, a difficult evening with the bat. They got there comfortably, and so at the end of this match, so Glamorgan's record of win defeat just carries on.
Yep.
They can't seem to. Well, they'll
still be there or thereabouts. They'll be in that 4th, 5th place, whatever the other results tonight. So they'll be in a good place to be, going into the second half of the competition in a couple of weeks' time. And
the next match down in Taunton, I think.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's going to be hard then, I guess, off the back of this.
It will be. They rested Craig Overton tonight. They rested Matt Henry last night. But they have those resources that they can do that. They have a very strong squad down there. And they're able to do that. Glamorgan are not in as luxurious position with the squad as yet. Yep. But I still like what I see, the way some of those players have gone out and played today, Asa especially. Yep. But even the start, that glimpse of a start, 30 off 2.1 overs, it's great, and that's what they've got to do. And just want to see the other guys. Unfortunately, Ben Kellaway whacked one just to the fielder rather than over him or past him today. But again, it's great to see the youngsters playing, as I mentioned earlier on.
Well, there we go. There's some positive points to end on, Matt. It's been great to spend the evening. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. It's been really good fun, and we really appreciate all your insight tonight. And thank you too very much for watching us tonight. We hope you'll join us the next time we're on, which will be in a couple of weeks' time, I think. But thanks for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the game tonight. We hope you have a fantastic weekend wherever you are. And from Matt and from me here in Cardiff, in Wales, we wish you a very happy, a very good evening and a great weekend. Bye-bye.